Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Pyrrhic.
And I'm Victoria.
And now we're doing episode 12, baby, of the Lore Olympus analysis.
At this point, I just hate reading.
Yeah.
You're not here to listen to us analyze Lore Olympus. We've already done that. Now we're just hating on it because it's such a painful experience.
Yeah, there's really nothing. I mean, we just got finished reading chapters 156 to 165, right? And it was like so much like we were yelling even before we got in to like sit down to film this video because
it was so bad.
Why?
It was somehow even worse.
Why?
Than 145 to 155.
Yeah.
Somehow even worse.
Yeah.
Like it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, I know last time we did 10 episodes, we tried to keep the discussion of the art contained to a minimum so that we could get through them. It's going to be hard to do with this batch of episodes.
As far as the art goes, all I can say is like 156 and 157 have some of the worst art I've seen up until now. Like it's like to the level of like modern day Lore Olympus art. It's freaking awful.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then all of a sudden the art gets better in 158 onwards.
Yeah.
Because we thought there was a new assistant, but then we checked the credits, there's no new assistants.
No.
It just looks like Rachel's no longer doing the line art or something. Like somebody else is doing the line art because the line art style is totally different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more lines. There's a lot less, like, really stupid blocking, really bad anatomy mistakes.
Yeah.
There's a lot less of that going onwards, but everyone has visibly changed. Like, everyone looks better. You know, they don't have, like, stupid, goofy SpongeBob faces that make me want to commit homicide.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so, and if you will recall at the end of the last analysis video, we had 3 predictions each.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess we're going to discuss the contents of the episodes first, and then at the end of the episode, revisit those predictions. But like I said, I'm so glad we didn't put money on it. You know? I was reading, I was like, crap.
How many predictions did I make? I made like 4?
You made 3.
3.
Yeah,
okay,
we limited it to 3 each.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah, with that being said, do you want to just get into it? Rip off the Band-Aid?
Sure.
Okay, so we're starting now with episode 156 called Cow.
I could be really mean and make a joke.
Yeah. We all know what you're thinking. We all know what you're thinking.
I'm not gonna say it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello. God, the stupid SpongeBob face. It makes you want to commit homicide.
No.
What is up with these like stupid facial expressions? This like it's again going back to the interview where she said sometimes I get really bored drawing it and I just make them have stupid faces because inject some comedy in.
Because quite often you'll do a drawing and you'll be like, this looks funny, and it will kind of inspire you to like elevate the dialogue a little bit more or like do a joke that you didn't think of before because you see how funny the characters look and you're like, oh yeah, no, I could definitely, you know, add in a couple of extra panels to execute this joke or to, you know, sprinkle some sugar on top, what have you.
This isn't funny. She's answering the phone. So why is there a joke face right off the bat?
Yeah, it's like if you're watching a movie and somebody answers the phone after turning somebody else into like an inhuman thing, and they're going like, hello? You know, like the scene with Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 when he's like, oh, Dr. Connors.
Oh, Dr. Connors. How are you?
Yeah, can you imagine if that was right after killing Sandman? Like immediately after killing Sandman.
No, killing Eddie Brock.
Yeah, killing Eddie Brock. He goes, oh, Dr. Connors.
Because Eddie Brock was like the minty. He was just like the annoying guy who wasn't like harmful.
Yeah, and everybody in the audience would be like, dude, this new Bully Maguire is a real piece of crap.
I know.
Right? Like, it's not funny. It's weird.
Why is like the phone line? I know she's wearing a shawl, so that's why the branch is obscured. But it looks like they forgot to put the phone line over the shawl.
Oh, they totally did. They totally did.
The art is so sloppy in this episode. It's like insulting.
Yeah.
And then you have a nymph going, Corey Cobb, is that you? But A, she looks like a Daphne clone, but it's not Daphne.
I thought it was Daphne.
It's not Daphne. And B, I thought only Demeter called her Corey Cobb because it's like kind of like an insulting nickname, like an infantilizing nickname. But I guess not. And I don't even know where these characters are. They just showed up in the underworld.
They're in the underworld, but it's like, how did they know she was there? How did they find the number for the underworld office?
If they're all tech illiterate because they're in ancient Greece, how do they know how to use a payphone?
Yeah.
And payphones don't exist in 2022.
No.
Like, there's no payphones anymore. So why are they at a payphone? It's just so stupid. It's like, it's so dumb. It's like, we just came off of the dream of Kronos and then Hera waking up with blood again and then turning Minty into a plant. And then we smash cut to these nymphs coming from the mortal realm, and then they just F off one episode later. Like, it's so pointless, and it wastes your time so much, and neither one of us predicted it, because it came out of effing nowhere!
The weirdest thing was Leto.
I know the weirdest thing was Leto!
That was the weirdest thing.
But also, like, she's an international fugitive, and we're just gonna have this kuch kuch hotahe scene? Like, what the F, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
The embarrassing relatives from the Indian village come over with the cow, and Persephone's embarrassed?
Yeah.
We're just gonna do this in the middle of The Fugitive.
That's what it is.
My big fat Greek wedding mixed with The Fugitive makes a pretty woman. Like, come on.
That's what it is. That's what it's become.
We came to the underworld to find you, but we're kind of lost. All these women look the same, and they're all making...
there?
I don't know.
She's there.
I don't know.
Like,
her head is huge,
weird.
but then her body's like normal size. It's like an optical illusion.
Oh, this is the best part, the car scene.
Oh, the car scene. And then Persephone and Hades are, I guess, driving home from work because... So I thought they left home... I thought they left work early because they turned Minty into a plant. Mm-hmm. But actually they left work early because Persephone got a call from her embarrassing relatives. Mm-hmm. So no one gives a crap about Minty. She's not even in this car.
No, but he's got her at his house later.
So... You're quiet. They're not even talking about the fact that Minty just turned into a plant.
Why didn't they just fizz to Hades' house?
I don't know!
Why are they driving?
I don't know!
They can just fizz there.
Especially when she keeps forgetting who's on the driver's side and who's on the passenger side.
Right?
And she didn't even want to draw this background. She could have just had them flash to the... Like, there's no background here. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. To be honest, I'm a little nervous. Dude, you just turned Minty into a plant! Why are we doing this now?
No. And then they're suddenly driving a European-style car!
I know!
Bada bing, bada boom!
They're on opposite sides of the car.
Yeah.
I'll make myself scarce. What do you mean?
And she's looking out the window.
Oh
no, she's not.
Yeah, all of a sudden she's looking at him. How come nobody caught this? Or did they just catch it and they were like, oh, I hate Rachel so much, I'll just let her do it because it makes her look like a friggin' idiot.
Yeah. And then, but why is Persephone saying... I'm a little nervous, don't you want to meet my family? I'm just worried you won't like them. Like, she's talking to herself. But why would she try to get Hades to meet her family if she's embarrassed by her family?
Because she's only saying that. It's like the thing that some women do, where they put themselves down because they want other people to compliment them.
Oh, yeah, fishing for compliments.
Yeah, fishing for compliments.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm worried that you'll hate my family, but she's really expecting Hades. She wants Hades to be enthusiastic about meeting her family. Yeah. And saying, don't worry, honey, I'm so proud of where you came from. I'll love them no matter what. And he's not saying that, so she has to bait him into saying that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's don't manipulative. You want to meet my family?
I'm just worried you won't like... Yeah, you never said it! Don't you want to meet my family? I'm just worried you won't like them.
She's like having a conversation with herself.
She looks really bad in this panel. She looks like a Who from Whoville.
And he's like confused, rightfully so, because I should be the one worrying about what they think of me. But it's like, no. He should be saying, wait, what? What do you mean, don't I want to meet them? I'm just worried you won't like them. I didn't even
make
say
up your
anything.
mind.
Yeah,
make up your mind.
Come on.
And also, what happened to your face?
Yeah, he's crying too in that panel.
Well, she's balding. She has no chin. She has a pony nose. And she's missing eyelashes on one eye.
I don't know who drew that one, man. That's all I'm saying is I don't know who drew that one.
Oh my gosh. They are a lot totally different in this panel. Have you met my brothers?
The narcissism is like...
I know. They're fighting for dominance.
My family's a lot. No, have you met my brothers?
No, they're fighting...
But
they're
my
fighting...
mom. Yeah, but what about my dad?
They're fighting for victimhood.
Yeah, it's like the victim Olympics.
Yeah, it's the victim Olympics. And then they're both looking off into the void. Yeah. Hades isn't even driving. His hand's even not on the wheel.
It's because she couldn't keep track of where the wheel was. So
Rachel's never been in a car before. Is that a cow? Wait, they stopped driving? When did they stop driving?
I guess it's a short drive from the office. I guess it takes less time to drive than it does to fizz.
Oh my god! Bury me. But here's the part that confused me, because she's only been in the underworld / Olympus for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So why is she so ashamed of her roots now all of a sudden?
Yeah. It's not like when she was a kid they showed her consuming a lot of media on TV.
It's not like she was like, I was the only one out of my family who was enamored with the Olympus and the underworld, and I loved the women with their fancy suits and their fancy cars, and I always wanted to be one of them, you know?
Yeah.
Whenever mommy would take me with her to her business trips, because Demeter goes to the Olympus in the underworld. She has like power suits for that.
Yeah, and she takes her to photo shoots. For
and she's like, I remember coming to the underworld once when I was 12 and being so dazzled by all the neon lights and, you know, the rain-soaked streets. And yeah, the sun never shines here, but it's so moody and so rich, you know? Yeah. Life here is so moody and rich.
I've never seen nights as dark as these.
Yeah.
Right? I've never felt air this cold, and to me it's like a novelty.
You could have made Hecate like her godmother and be like, one time I convinced Hecate to buy me a TV, like on the down low, and I would sneak like movies from Olympus and the underworld and watch them on repeat because I was obsessed with it. I've always wanted to come here. That would have made her much more sympathetic and much more like given her much more of a like concrete reason to want to come to Olympus for school. Because right now it just reads like she wanted to leave home because she wanted to get laid really, really badly. Yeah. And that's why she committed the act of wrath.
Yeah, I mean...
Femzelle.
Yeah, she's more and more signs.
I know!
Closing into the criminal profile.
We're closing into the true reason behind Persephone's genocidal action.
The profile is almost completed. Yeah.
And then we have this extremely lazy background with the limp turd cloud.
Yeah, what is that?
And then like some paint splotch stars that are like just right there.
Is it supposed to be snow or stars? Because it's cold, right?
They're stars. They're supposed to be stars, but they only put them in like one part of the panel.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the panel is all the same color. There's an asset here, but it's so dim I can't even tell what it is.
And it's like cut off at the top too.
Yeah.
So.
And then all of the nymphs are just standing in a line like it's some kind of criminal lineup, and they all look the same except for the two green ones and the kid. Hi everyone! Would you like me to park first? Or would you let me park first? This also has no background.
No.
I've missed you so much. Dude, she is so two-faced. In the car, she was saying, bury me, and getting really embarrassed. And then she runs out and says, I missed you a lot. And then she does this fake bear hug.
No, but you gotta go down. You'll see when the true Persephone comes out.
It's so good to see you. Nymph, like, right next to the camera, staring at nothing.
You just go down. She's like, they bought it.
I know.
They believed me.
I know, this one's like having, you know, visions.
And she's like, hee hee.
Everyone loves me. Everyone?
The scary Hades panel. Hello.
Hello.
In the void.
In the void.
The big shadow.
I know, there's nothing even in that panel.
She's just standing there menacingly.
Right.
He's just standing there menacingly.
SpongeBob.
Everyone, I'd like to how'd she know Clip over there?
I don't know. She's suddenly next to Hades.
I'd like to introduce my friend, Hades. Go on, just like I showed you. Oh my god, the cow is like, I don't even know where the cow is.
The cow is like...
It's way too small.
No, but
it's like the size of a dog in this panel.
It also looks confused.
I know. I mean, obviously she traced it.
Yeah.
It's traced, but she didn't even look at like a picture example of a cow next to a human.
What's he gonna do to that poor cow, man?
He's gonna eat it. He loves steaks extra raw, remember?
The
or
cow.
He's gonna feed it to Cerberus.
The cow is smiling.
Smiling to its death.
That's horrible,
Please accept our offering for taking care of this goddess. And I looked it up because I was like, where's this cow thing coming from? It just felt like it was coming out of nowhere, and it felt like it was from like a Bollywood movie. But apparently in ancient Greece, as part of a dowry, they would often exchange cattle. And then that also led me to realize or read this passage about how in ancient Greece, the average woman, not even woman, girl was married off between the ages of 14 and 16, and the male was often like around his 30s. And they were all arranged marriages, so before Rachel jumps in and talks about how age gaps are valid, none of the women chose their husbands. So, I mean, it's really ironic when you think that that's the ancient arranged marriages, pre-women's rights, when women were basically treated like chattel, you know, goods to be traded between families, and they had no thoughts, feelings, rights. And then you take that, and then you look at Lore Olympus, and the age gap between Persephone and Hades is even greater.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 26. He's like, she's said before in her Tumblr asks, that he's a grown-ass man.
In his 40s.
In his 40s.
Yep.
And he's Persephone,
losing his shit over a teenage girl.
Yeah, Persephone's only 19. And I think she's only 19 as like a CYA, because if she was 18, then it would be too obvious.
Yeah.
be way too obvious.
Yeah.
She definitely bases her standards of morality, her understanding of pop culture, and her even cultural references. Like, the underworld is clearly New York.
Yeah.
So even if the age of consent in New Zealand is 16, the fact that Persephone's 19, like, she's going off of American age of consent, which is 18.
Yeah.
So she sucks.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
No, it's just disgusting. And
She's like, I can't have Persephone not be a teenager.
yeah.
That's basically the logic behind that.
Gotta be a teenager. If she's not a teenager, the whole thing is ruined.
If she's not a teenager, then all the old men won't want to rape her as much.
Oh, her soft, pink, nice body. What's the line?
Her soft pink body. It's like the same thing with Hera. Like, in this batch of chapters, it's revealed that everyone wanted Hera back then. Keywords back then. Back when she was young and attractive instead of old and wrinkled and always crying and cynical and
drinking all the
and
time.
calling Zeus like an a-hole and all this other stuff. Like, all of the older female characters in Lore Olympus are just characterized as like unrepentant harpies that
Jaded.
no man would ever want to sleep with.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because a lot of, like, disgusting, misogynistic men who are in their 30s who talk about why they want to date teenage girls, they say, like, oh, it's so nice to come home and have somebody not talk about their job or how their day was or get on you for this, that, and the other. And they're just happy, man. They're just chill because they don't have any real problems yet. So I can tell them all about my problems and I don't have to hear about any of their problems. Like, there are literally guys who say, like, that's one of the perks of dating women who are, like, college freshmen, like 18-year-olds.
No, the biggest thing is that the biggest reason why guys like dating younger women is because younger women don't know themselves and they don't have as high standards.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we're older women, as in we're not effing teenagers.
Yeah.
And when I was, like, 19, I wasn't this blasé and this, like, upfront, like, F you, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a lot less intimidating to date a woman who's 19, 18, doesn't know herself very well, isn't sure of how to interact with guys and, like, what they're truly after, versus, like, a woman who's, like, 30 or whatever, who's, like, more confident and doesn't take any crap.
No, that's exactly what happened with Persephone and Apollo.
Yeah.
Like, Apollo was counting on the fact that she doesn't have experience.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what's going on or what she's doing with that sort of thing. So he was banking on the fact that she would agree to do something with minimal pressure.
Or she'd be too timid to push him away.
Yeah, because she hasn't established those boundaries yet. That it's like, okay, now that you've experienced something like that, you're a little bit older, a little bit, I guess, more conscientious of what you like and you don't like, and what you're willing to put up with.
What you're willing to put up with.
And what's a boundary, like a clear, solid boundary. She would see that coming from a mile away, and she'd be like, "Get the F out of Artemis's house right now. I'm not entertaining you. I'm not. This is ridiculous."
Like, when you get older, you don't have time for that anymore, and, like, male validation is no longer a novelty.
No.
You just shut it down.
Yeah. No, she sucks. She's disgusting. She's a pervert, and she's got this weird, like, age gap obsession.
It's not like she's 18 and she's writing this.
No.
She's, like, she wrote this when she was 37, 38. She's a freaking creep.
She is creepy, man. I will admit, she is very creepy.
Okay.
So yeah, 14 and 30 versus 19 and, like, 40s. It's creepy.
21 years.
Yeah, jeez, man.
The age gap is older than she is.
Yeah, he's old enough to be her dad.
Disgusting.
Yeah, man.
I'll put her with the rest of my cows.
What other cows does he have? He doesn't
Persephone.
Oh my god! Gotta send her to the intensive care unit for those burns. Here, Persephone, grow yourself a little bit of aloe vera for that burn. Twit.
She got slam dunked into Tartarus. I like how they're on, like, two different planes of existence and the kid's not even looking at him.
There's not even a ground.
No, but look at her hand.
Jesus.
And it's the same cow head copy-pasted.
Yeah.
Jeez. You all must be freezing. So let's go inside. Persephone's like, she just dosed some real acid or something.
Your pupils went. You heard the man. Let's get settled.
This is such a weird panel.
It is really weird.
Why are they all staring at the camera?
But where'd they all come from? Like, where'd all the food come from?
I don't know.
And where'd their cloaks go?
I don't know.
And why is that girl flying?
There's more women here than there was before, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. And the two ladies in the back there are huge.
There were like 3 pink girls and two green girls.
Yeah.
And now there's like 4 pink girls.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I don't know.
Why are they all talking to the camera?
I don't know, it's creepy.
These faces are effing me up.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I keep staring at them.
And there's like no rhyme or reason to like the composition.
No.
Like where Hades is standing, where the green women are standing, the pink women, where the food is.
No, this whole panel would have been more effective if they were pushing him inside and covering them with garlands like a pushy Indian family from like a Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
And that's like a very common trope. Like this whole scene, this whole chapter, this whole pointless, worthless, waste of time chapter reminds me of like a Bollywood movie where the relatives are being pushy.
Yeah.
You know, like that scene in Jab We Met where they're stuffing him full of lassis and stuff.
Yeah, and like they come out with the plate of laddus.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I don't want to eat. no, please.
Yeah, and then they're going, Are, come on, beta. It is very, like, even they're holding the plates and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Like a big...
And the cow reminded me of Bollywood movie.
Yeah. Maybe she
Stupid
watched
Persephone's face.
Bride and Prejudice.
I don't remember the dancing scene in Bride and Prejudice, though. The forcing the couple to dance. That was like in The Proposal.
Yeah, let's see.
Where they're like forcing Ryan Reynolds to tell the story of how he proposed to Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, you'd have to watch it again to be sure. But anyway, she watched something. We know she's watching TV while she's doing this.
Yeah, she watched something because this plotline came out of nowhere and it's referencing a bunch of scenes that are happening in like random sequences that don't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
And then this copy of season 1, like the panel from season 1, which is just like, dude, like imagine going back to season 1 and seeing how much better the art was, and then posting these like horribly drawn nymphs on it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The baby nymph is like got the torso of like a grown woman.
I know. She can't not draw a woman who's like hourglass shaped.
Strange. Sure is strange.
And then she has random shots of these women talking for no reason.
Their blue patches disappeared.
I know.
They don't look like Daphne anymore,
No.
probably because Daphne shows up later.
I know. This is not enough garlic. That's what the recipe says. The recipe is wrong. None of these nymphs have names. So when Persephone's like, I don't want you to meet my family, blah, 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 she just says, I missed you all so much. And then we just continue to these random unconnected scenes. But it's so hollow because they don't have names and we don't know who they are.
One of them has a name later, Brenda. And the only reason I know that is because Persephone says, shut up, Brenda. Not, I love you, Brenda. I missed you, Brenda. I got this for you, Brenda. She says, shut up, Brenda. That's how we know her name.
She doesn't even,
Brenda.
she introduces Hades to them, but she never introduces Hades. Like, we didn't even get a panel saying, like, that's Brenda, that's Chelsea, that's Tiffany, that's Brittany, that's Rachel. Oh, I mean Rebecca.
Yeah.
You know, we never got a panel where she introduced them to him. It's almost like they don't matter.
No, they don't.
They're just a bunch of stupid women after all.
Yeah, they effed up the sink again. They drew him
Oh my
over
god,
the
you know what I
sink.
just realized?
What?
Hades has a flower nymph fetish.
Oh, get those women away from him!
No wonder somebody didn't introduce them to him! The competition!
Oh my gosh.
Somebody removed that child from his house!
Oh, Jesus. You gotta get her out of there, man.
Jesus Christ! Persephone's standing right next to them, like his true object of fetishistic desire. She must feel so... No wonder she freaks out when Leto mentions Hera. She already feels inadequate.
Yeah. I would be so uncomfortable. If I was around a dude who was watching that kind of stuff, like, I would feel so uncomfortable.
Dude, it'd be like if you're friends with Kylie Jenner, who's in brown face, and then she introduces you to her boyfriend who has a brown girl fetish, and then here comes the real deal. It's like, oh god, get me out of here. So what kind of brown are you? Okay, tadpole.
He's such a creep.
This panel was so weird to me, but it also like made me think that Persephone was such a jerk because it looks like they're trying to watch TV, and she just plonked herself in front of the TV to be like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah, and she's like yelling at them.
I know, yeah. What are you all doing here? They're trying to watch TV, and she just sat down in front of the TV, and she's like, "F all of you."
Yeah, and they've never seen a TV before, right?
It's lovely to see you, of course. She didn't start with that. She started with, "What are you doing here?" It's lovely to see you, of course, hastily backtracking.
No, this part about the books was so stupid.
I know.
Does it go anywhere?
No.
Fudging the books?
No. We were kind of trouble with the books. Doesn't Kaimos normally handle that? They made Persephone a different shade of pink.
To differentiate.
To differentiate her more, because otherwise she looks exactly like these nymphs. You're all a bunch of drunks.
The cutting away to, like, somebody doing something unrelated. Again, like, just imagine you're watching a movie and then they cut like that. You'd be like, what was that?
It happens a lot in, like, Meet the Rock. Like, you know, I'm thinking, like, Disney humor?
Where the scene only it is like a 10-second long and then cut to something else and then 10 seconds. Okay, then cut to something else.
Yeah, but they cut to something else and it's, like, usually a humorous, like, joke.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch movies where that stuff happens.
Well, I mean, like, that style of humor is, like, it's very, like, it's not even Marvel. But it's very familiar, you know, where the movie cuts away to, like, an unrelated joke.
Bullet Train. I watched Bullet Train recently, and that movie kept doing that to the point that I just got up and left. Like, I stopped watching it, and I was like, I can't keep track of what's going on in this movie. It's so distracting that you're introducing like 50 billion characters and then cutting to something, like the two characters will be like, no, there were 10 guys that we killed. No, I'm pretty sure we killed 11 guys. And then they'll cut to them killing all the guys, and then in the flashback the character's saying, see, yeah, it was 11, just like I said. And it's like, what's the point of that flashback?
That's a very specific kind of humor. It's in some movie that's like Bullet Train that Bullet Train's copying.
Yeah, it's like a Guy Ritchie type,
yeah, it's like
right?
Guy Ritchie. Yeah.
Like a Guy Ritchie movie,
like Snatch. I can't watch Snatch because it's effing obnoxious.
It's so confusing.
Ocean's 11 was kind of like that too.
Yeah, it was. Like the characters would be talking, and then all of a sudden you switch to something else. It was also in The Big Short. When they kept having celebrities.
Oh yeah, that was the worst part of
the narrative.
The Big Short is a good movie when it was focused on the main dudes, but when they kept throwing in like Selena Gomez and Margot Robbie, I was like, you're acting like I have the IQ of like a burger bun. Like, this is so annoying. You don't have to like mansplain or womansplain with Margot Robbie's shiny legs. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's so distracting that it pulls you out of the movie.
It's like, you think that your audience is a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, and you're trying to be like cutesy about it, but it's
like,
not.
oh, we need to make this more palatable to the mainstream, otherwise they're not going to watch a movie about 08, even though it affected like 99% of Americans. The only people it didn't affect were the rich people who already know what happened.
Exactly.
They keep forgetting to put in the texture filter.
Yeah, they do.
It's like every other panel, they forget it now.
Yeah, the only texture on this character is from the brush.
And the background, yeah. None of us know how to fix the accounts, but you do.
Does
no
she actually,
texture here either.
Does she actually fix them in this scene?
No.
No, right?
Where did that book come from?
She didn't have it earlier.
No! They're not even... I have to, like, super, like, zoom in with my eyes to see what's going on here, because it's so dark.
No, like, if you go back up to the bit where they're both on the sofa, there's no book in that panel.
Oh my gosh.
So where'd it come from?
Where'd she get it from?
Where was she keeping it?
I don't know. Maybe that's why Hades likes flower nymphs. What does
that mean? The interdimensional vagina. I mean,
hammer space vagina.
Yeah, like, what does that mean? Well, you could.
No, that's why he was asking what the percentage cubic.
Because he likes the interdimensional vagina that you can stick a giant book inside and then it comes right out like nothing.
He wants to go spelunking.
What's the M?
In season 3, he's got the cord tied around it.
What the M?
Oh my god! No, I was thinking that when they were like, oh, Hera seduced Kronos, and she's like this big.
That's what I was wondering too. I was like,
how does he fall in love with someone the size of a gerbil? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. It's creepy. But Zeus got big when he supposedly ate Metis, right? Because Metis is, she's gigantic. She's a titaness.
Yeah.
And then, in the thing with Demeter, he's eating her like this. So how big did he get to eat her?
I thought he only got big because he ate her, but then they showed him eating her and he was already big.
Yeah, and she was, I mean, they still didn't answer in that chapter, like, what happened to her.
No.
But we'll get to that later, when we get to it.
But you do. Let me see. She doesn't even open the book.
No.
She just stares at the spine.
You know why? She was touching the book and she's like, why is it all snaky?
Oh no! Oh no! That's the cringe face.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you came. They forgot the color her pink she is.
Yeah.
The book's not even open. It's still closed.
No, and she doesn't fix it.
No. She didn't even look. You have another guest. Hi, everyone.
This is still Monday. She just came from her workout class.
How did she know she was there?
I don't know.
How did she know Persephone was at Hades' place?
Not only that, but in between when they're having the workout class to now, Minty got turned into a plant.
Yeah.
She got really upset at the workout place.
Yeah.
And then she got turned into a plant. And Daphne knows that she and Hades and all that stuff because they were gossiping about it at the workout place. And she was with Thanatos, and then they just finished the class while Minthy stormed out. And then
Minthy had the conversation with Hades where she tried to get him back.
Fake
boobs.
But I'm trying to think with Daphne, basically from her perspective, it's like, well, that was weird. Minthy, like, stormed off, right? That was bizarre. Anyway, somehow she finds out that Persephone is at
I guess because
Hades'
the two nymphs were gossiping about how they were kissing.
Yeah.
But how would you know that she was staying at his house?
And how would you know that she'd be at his house on a Monday?
In the middle of the
workday?
workday.
In the middle of the day, yeah. And
Maybe she came to his house to, like, break in and gather dirt about Persephone and Hades because she's the source who's been tipping off the paparazzi. Wouldn't that have been an interesting plot twist?
It would have been, yeah.
Because she has the 411. She's, like, Persephone's best friend, but she's, like, secretly jealous of her or something. Because Persephone's a dick to her and forgot about her existence.
Not only that, but she didn't want to hear anything about Persephone when she was going on a date with Apollo, right?
No, the other thing was, when Apollo and her were on a date the first time, Apollo, like, told her to F off and spent, like, who knows how long talking to Persephone, and then Persephone went back home. What was Apollo like after Persephone went back home? Did you just start talking about Persephone again?
I don't know, we never saw it.
We never saw it, but like, that would give her reason to be jealous of Persephone and be like, who does she think she is? She just completely discarded me the second she came to the underworld.
Yeah.
She's been here longer than Persephone has.
Yeah.
Persephone never once visited her.
Yeah, especially because she is a flower nymph and they don't have long lifespans.
No.
Right? So...
That's meant the new headcanon. She was coming here to break in to gather more dirt on Persephone that she could sell to paparazzi.
Yep.
Hey everyone, Daphne! This is such a weird panel.
It's super weird.
What is Hades doing?
Don't touch my stuff.
Like, why?
That doesn't even look like Hades.
No.
The hairstyle, the face shape.
No.
The ear.
No.
The hand.
No.
If it wasn't blue,
no,
I wouldn't know who that's
If it was
supposed
pink,
to be.
it would look closer to Persephone than Hades.
The hairstyle looks more like Persephone's hairstyle.
And the face shape.
Yeah, but the nose, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, Persephone has a friggin' Whoville nose.
Yeah, and why'd she bring Thanatos?
I don't know.
He's just been following her all day?
I guess. He's like her bodyguard now. She's like Kendall. I don't know if you saw that recently where Kendall was walking in the rain.
Yeah, with the umbrella.
The bodyguard is holding the umbrella.
That's so ridiculous.
That's Daphne.
Oh.
She parks in handicap spots and gets her bodyguard to hold the umbrella for her.
I can't hold the umbrella. Why not? Oh, I just can't, you know.
Thanatos is an idiot, but I'm helping him get his crap together by making him take pictures for my blog and hold my umbrellas for me. Daphne, you look perfect. She's acting like she hasn't seen her in a long time when she saw her on Thursday. And she should get triggered seeing Daphne because the last time she saw her, she had a spiral meltdown that led to her disappearing. Yeah. Supposedly. I mean, our alternate canon is that she planned the disappearance. Yeah. Because she knew that Act of Wrath was about to come out.
Yeah, so here it is Monday, and the last time she saw her was
Thursday. And they're acting like they haven't seen each other in months. Because Rachel forgot about Daphne and Persephone being friends. Mm-hmm. I have a whole bunch. Do you want to see them?
Let me rub my wealth in your face, Daphne.
Dude, it's like Rachel doesn't have any female friends in real life.
Yeah, the first thing we do when we have free time, oh my god, I love your outfit.
I'm gonna show you my closet full of clothes.
Yes, I would love to see your clothes. Never mind the fact that we are dressed completely differently.
I mean, I am interested in fashion, but I've never taken a tour of your closet.
No!
It's like she's watched Sex and the City, where Charlotte and I think Miranda both just watched Carrie parade through her entire closet full of outfits before she threw them away in her move to France, I think.
It's like main character.
It is main character. That's why Carrie sucks.
Yeah.
Because she's such a terrible friend that she makes her other friends, like, friggin' kowtow to her like she's a queen. You know, they're basically her ladies in waiting. And then they just, like, go like, oh my god, you go, girl. You look perfect in that outfit. And then, you know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not a good woman, but I've never had a female friend.
No, it's boring. It's like, it reminds me of when I was a kid and my mom would take me to the clothing store and she'd be like, which one looks better, this one or this one? And it's like, I don't care. Right?
Yeah, I would just make smart aleck comments like they're both horrible.
Yeah.
Can we leave now?
Yeah, no, get that one. That one's definitely better. Like, wait, which one's more expensive? Okay, that one. No, right?
Exactly.
Like, anything to get me out of there. It's not, like, for me personally, it's not fun to watch another person try on clothes. Like, it's one thing to see, like, a YouTuber that you like do a fashion haul, and to see the clothes that they get that you can't afford that you like,
or
and
if
it's
they
your
have like
style.
a similar style to you, and you see how they style it.
Yeah, and it's like outfit inspo. But if you and your friend are both someplace, you go over to their house and they just go through all their clothes and show you all their clothes without even saying, "Hey, I have too many. You want to take some? We're about the same size. You can come over to my closet and pick out whatever you want."
Daphne and Persephone don't even have similar styles.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why she's like, "Yes, I would love to see your clothes," and she's clearly like characterized as athletic, wearing athletic clothes.
But then that one time she wore that really like deep cut dress, and I feel like that's something that Persephone would wear too.
Yeah, on the date with.
Well, I couldn't even tell you what Persephone would wear because it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess they could share clothes because they have like equally unhinged personal styles, as in like they wear completely different outfits depending on what Rachel saw on her Instagram feed that day.
Yeah, but I mean, her outfit here is atrocious. It just says fit. It's just a fitted full sleeve shirt with a pair of leggings.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you're not interested. Like Artemis is not interested in fashion.
Yeah,
but yeah, like
it should at least reflect their personalities. We have lots to catch up on between Thursday and today. There's so much to catch up on.
Again, it's like she doesn't know how to write female friendships. This is such a tropey like representation of women.
Yeah,
like
it's like it was written by a guy.
No, but that's what it feels like. It feels like a reality TV show portrayal of women. But, I mean, I don't know if I'm just nitpicking the crap out of this comic because I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But it just feels like so shallow. It's like, oh, Persephone and Daphne are best friends. So I'm just gonna have them act like two female characters on that reality TV show or like two Kardashians.
No.
Dishing hot goss and showing off each other's clothes. Instead of writing, like, it's a substitute for writing a real relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's a substitute for going, like, they've known each other for XYZ years. They have this in common. The reason they're best friends is because they're both ambitious, you know?
Yeah, Persephone is using Daphne as her little stooge
to
feel good about herself.
Like, it's like the Carrie scene where she's got, like, her ladies in waiting.
Or Paris and,
Nicole. Or no, Paris and Kim.
Yeah,
Kim was her closet organizer.
Yeah, Paris and Kim, where it's like, okay, I'm the star, you're, like, my yes man that I keep around for social
gas
clout.
me up,
Yeah, and it's really bizarre. It's like there's such a status difference between them.
It's not an exchange.
No, it's like she's a captive audience, and Persephone's just projecting everything onto her.
Look at how great my life is.
Like, you should be a reflection of my greatness, right? Like, tell me how great I am.
Yeah, it really is like a Paris and Kim situation.
Yeah.
And that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like a shallow, fake reality TV relationship. And again, I don't know if I'm being overly harsh. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it does feel like instead of conceiving of like a realistic relationship between these two characters, she just ripped off a reality TV relationship or a stereotypical relationship between two best friends from like popular high school girls like Regina and her clique in Mean Girls and threw it into Lore Olympus.
Yeah.
Instead of anything realistic.
And again, you compare this to like Sam and Vicky and Angela in friggin' Let's Play, and you have them playing games together. You have them talking about going to cosplay conventions together.
And each person in the friendship has a different role.
Yeah.
There's Vicky, who's the wise one who gives good advice and talks people down and like gets them in touch with their feelings and stuff. And then there's Angela, who's like the more like tomboyish, aggressive one, who's like, I stand up for my best friends no matter what, you know, ride or die. Mm-hmm. And then Sam's like the quiet, intellectual one who's like really, I guess she's really sweet. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They don't give me enough reason to like think why Sam would be at the center of all these relationships. It's not like she's Toru Honda.
No.
Like Fruits Basket, who's like just the nicest person ever.
Yeah.
But each person in that friendship has a different role, and it feels like they've been friends for years. Like, they have a dynamic. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess, with all that fluff in between. There's no dynamic between these two characters.
No.
There's just Carrie and then Charlotte and Miranda, who are just like, you know, some people speculate that Sex and the City is just like Carrie, and then she's projecting Charlotte, Miranda, and Sam as different aspects of her own self, because the whole show focuses on Carrie, and she has aspects of the other characters in her, and the other characters are kind of like flanderized, you know, as the show goes on.
That makes sense.
Because the whole show revolves around Carrie, and it's like, she's just such a dick. You know, she's so selfish. It's almost like the other characters aren't even people.
Yeah, they're just projections.
Yeah. It was this way, and then Thanatos starts going, and he still has massive boobs. Don't follow them, you weirdo. Thanatos' character is completely, like, totally different from how he was when he was first introduced.
Yeah, totally different. He's got no personality anymore.
He's almost like an incel. Like, he's desperate for Daphne to the point that he's, like, doing whatever she says.
It's the same thing that we talked about in the last episode, where Hades' alcoholism is suddenly fixed ever since he's found Persephone.
Yeah.
All of Thanatos' supposed mean-spiritedness and pettiness it just evaporated right after he had that conversation with Daphne
Yeah.
about, like, maybe you should think about why you care so much.
No,
right?
but even before that, it was gone. When he was talking to Minty, and then when he was talking to Minty and Thetis, and he was imagining Prometheus.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even the same character.
No.
Like, this is
Totally
the character
different.
who pushed Persephone out of the way to get on the train in the beginning because he was going to be late for work.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Thanatos in the beginning. He was flawed, but he was funny and interesting.
Yeah, and he's not even at work, and it's like Monday midday, and Hades isn't saying, why aren't you at the effing office, friggin' man bun? Like,
And Hades is going to fire him in the beginning for being lazy.
Yeah.
Did he get fired or something?
I don't know. It's
Like,
just
he's
bizarre.
a completely different character. He has no personality. He just revolves around Daphne now.
It's weird.
It's really weird. And yeah, again, he's like an incel where he's like following her everywhere.
Yeah. These are like original characters at this point who just kind of change, like, on whim. It's not even anything to do with the myth anymore, right?
No.
Like, at this point, like...
No, but even like in the very beginning, they didn't have that much to do with the myth, but they at least had like characterization. And now it's like the characterization's gone.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like a floating NPC based on whatever Rachel wants to write into the chapter at that point. What is this dress? That doesn't look like anything Daphne would wear.
Yeah, wow, Percy, I'm impressed. With what? The fact that she bought all these clothes?
The fact that she has 10 shopping bags behind her. I'm impressed. You were able to gold dig your way to Hades, and I was stuck with stupid manservant Thanatos.
Impressed with what?
How much she swindled. They're both swindlers. Daphne's got some guy following her hook, line, and sinker. She's running the emotional gaslighting tactic on him. And Percy snagged herself a whale.
Jeez, man. I mean, like, what's there to be impressed about? She didn't build those, design those.
You didn't build
buy
That.
them. Yeah, like, she had nothing. There's no credit.
It's not even
to
her
give
money.
her. It's not even her money.
And she didn't even pick it out. She had the shop assistants doing it for her.
Yeah, so, like, what are you impressed with?
She swindled so much money out of Hades that she hasn't even had sex with him yet.
Yeah, this Hades guy is a real chump.
I
Mr.
know,
Lonely Heart.
I know.
Take him for a ride.
Really?
It's weird. And then she goes, SpongeBob face.
Ooh, Thanatos, huh? Her eyelashes are missing. Her dress is a completely different color. Yeah, he's kind of dumb, but I'm working on it. They're both swindlers. They're having their con artist
Yeah,
conversation.
she's like, I'm trying to work him.
I'm trying to work him. Maybe one day he'll be worth something.
Yeah. She's also got no eyelashes.
I know.
What the heck is going on with the eyelashes, man?
Tiny paw hands. What about Apollo? Yeah, that's done.
Why is she
How come
asking about
Persephone
Apollo?
never told her? She never even called her or texted her, and she got a phone like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
She got a phone on Saturday. The last she saw of Daphne, like, she had such an upsetting conversation with Apollo that she got triggered and, like, disappeared for 2 days, but she didn't spare a thought for Daphne that entire time.
Yeah, she's like, Daphne went on a date with that guy. What happened to her? I'm worried about her. Let me check in on her. No, nothing.
Nothing. She went on a shopping spree before she even thought of Daphne. She hasn't thought of Daphne in, like, 3 days.
No.
4 days. It's Tuesday. Yeah, that's done. He's a creep. Please be careful. Too little too late, you F-head! I know, don't worry.
That's not what she told Echo.
I know, that's what I was thinking when I first read this. She had to experience it firsthand before she believed anything. She's
Yeah.
such a piece of trash.
But you know, like, it's interesting because the reason she left the date and said no D is worth this is because he kept talking about Persephone.
I know. Not because he's like a creep.
No.
It had nothing to do with him being a creep.
It had to do with him talking about Persephone all the time.
Maybe she was mad that he wasn't creeping on her. And that's why they don't show her face here.
Exactly, because she's going, I know, don't worry, and then she's thinking Little Miss Perfect.
I know.
Wants Apollo all to herself.
He wasn't being, don't worry, he wasn't being a creep to me. In fact, he couldn't stop thinking about, or he couldn't stop talking about you.
Exactly, that would have been... But no.
We just move on and act like it never happened.
Yeah, because the very next panel is...
Let's talk about you. Let's not talk about me, because I'm a character that doesn't matter. You're the main character here, Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
And Persephone gets this stupid bubble.
Verbal diarrhea.
Where we are yet again confirming that the TGOM plotline is still not resolved. Because she's such a piece of crap. She doesn't tell anyone anything. Just make up your mind, dude.
All the stuff about the trial
Yeah.
and being a wanted criminal isn't even in that speech bubble. Like,
It's Daphne didn't go like, She shouldn't have been like, so, Hades, huh? She should have been like, so, active wrath, huh?
Yeah, what about this trial?
What about the fact that you're an international wanted fugitive? Is that, like, weighing on your thoughts at all? Oh, I guess not, because it's not weighing on Rachel's thoughts.
No, Hecate told her your mom's a bird, and she goes, okay, classy.
I know, yeah.
And then she got interrupted with the phone call.
Yeah.
And now she's not even thinking, hey, to the flower nymphs, is my mother with you? Like, how come you guys, like... did you guys see my mom? Have you talked to her at all?
Well, the flower nymphs didn't even say, hey, do you know where Demeter is?
No.
They found Persephone, but they don't know where Demeter went. They didn't even try to look for her. Hey, Persephone, can you help us find Demeter? We need to fix these accounts.
No. And this whole big speech bubble about the date, it's like rambling because she's like nervous and like going, oh my gosh, the date, oh my gosh. And it's like, what about the trial? Like, in real life, if somebody was in serious trouble, they'd probably be like losing sleep, no appetite, sick to their stomach, worried about the trial. And then she's thinking about a stupid date.
Not if they're a sociopath.
Oh yeah. Keyword.
Narcissistic sociopath.
Yeah.
And then Daphne pulls out this really inappropriate toddler onesie.
Yeah.
Which is so small, it barely fits, it wouldn't even fit her arm.
No, it wouldn't fit Persephone at all. I mean, the cup size, it doesn't look like a soft cup. It looks like it's got underwire on it.
Yeah.
That's not the right size at all. That would have, like, fit maybe Minthy at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Even then, it's like very
it's like a double zero.
Yeah.
It's so small. Look at her boob in this panel versus the lingerie.
No, it's not going to fit her at all. It's not going to fit the lady who's even holding it.
No, it's like a toddler onesie, and it looks like it's copy-pasted into the panel.
It is copy-pasted into the panel.
With this, you'll be the boss of the bedroom. She was just raped 2 weeks ago, and apparently so traumatic that in the therapy episode, she like didn't even tell the therapist until after people commented below that Rachel forgot to put it in the therapy episode. So why is she thinking about being the boss in the bedroom? And these two women are making two totally different troll faces, so that makes me think that a different person drew each one of these characters.
Probably did.
Let's just put them away. Also, the other thing that's really stupid is that she'll draw like female characters like this all the time, but she would never draw two male characters like that.
No, of course. Like, she didn't even show, like I said, she didn't even show Zeus holding Hades' hand to pull him out of Kronos.
This was so random.
It was weird.
It was so weird.
It was so weird. It was
what materials?
No, the materials, the others are on their way with the materials. That's weird. But then Leto coming out with the leg is like something from a Bollywood, like a friggin' Indian soap, like you were saying, right? With the dramatic character entrance, and it's like, what's going on?
No, but why is she saying the others are on their way with the materials? What materials? Are they having a ritual? Like, what's going on?
Is this gonna become like, gosh, The Wicker Man?
I don't know.
Midsommar?
What others? You guys got lost in the underworld. You had to have Hades and Persephone. No, wait, they met them at their house. Yeah. How'd they get to their house?
They said we're kind of lost, right?
Yeah, so
she never gave them instructions.
She never picked them up.
No.
This is so stupid.
It's just horrible. Nothing makes sense. It's crap.
All this money and he doesn't have a fire pit? What does that have to do with the materials? What materials?
You know what I just realized?
What?
They're outside.
Yeah, they're outside.
I didn't realize that before.
Yeah, they're outside.
I thought Leto was inside the house already.
No, Leto's coming in from off the street and nobody stops her. Nobody goes, who are you? What's going on? Nothing. I know, right? Where does he host parties with his friends and family? Excuse me. Oh my god, looking straight at the camera.
How did she know this shindig was going on?
Two different artists because the line art is a totally different color.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy. She just shows up with a bunch of crap on a plate, like literally turds on a plate.
Poops on a plate.
I don't even know what that is. And then they let her into the house? They don't even know who she is.
Why would they let her in?
What friggin' stupid,
What
bro.
the heck is going on, man?
It's the dramatic Indian soap opera entrance, just like you said. Okay, episode 151, hypothetical. Is this the one where she starts asking all the inappropriate questions?
No,
That would have been a better time to have hypothetical.
Yeah, this is the one where Leto drops truth bombs.
Why is that called hypothetical? Why is this called... Anyway... The layout of Hades' backyard is very confusing to me.
It is very confusing, yeah. You've got like 2 swimming pools.
He's got like an elevated swimming pool, but then the further back it goes, it's not elevated anymore.
Yeah.
How does that work? And there's like a staircase to it.
Yeah.
But there's like another platform and then like a pit for the fire.
Yeah, so I think that part of it just is up, and then the elevated part is here, and then this is the height of that part.
So then this is a step down.
Yeah.
And that's another step down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how come he doesn't have an infinity pool? He's not that rich.
Yes, not. But this, it's completely devoid of any personality.
No, it just looks like a generic LA house backyard.
Yeah.
And then Hades is stoking the fire, but he's poking his stick at the, like...
The edge of it.
I know, he's not poking the fire.
No.
He's got, like, a wire that he's poking at the edge of the fire, which is just like, what?
The fire also looks like clip art.
Yeah, it does. And the little kid is there, but she's standing in a weird background.
Yeah.
This has almost been the perfect evening, but I cannot help but feel like something is missing. Would you like to sit down? Or would you sit down? Who is this character and why is she talking? Like,
Just
the fact that none of these characters have names and I don't care about any of them is just such a waste of time.
Just the person to say, like, dance.
Yeah, dance monkeys. The hosts must dance. Ha ha ha, you do not want to see me dance. No, I said hosts.
What's the point of this scene? Like, what?
It's kuch kuch hota hai. Her eyebrows disappearing into her hairline.
Yeah, it's way up there.
So high. The longer I stare at it, and then the shine of the eyelid.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's the kuch kuch hota hai scene. You wouldn't understand.
I've seen Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
No, that's the line. Kuch kuch hota hai, Rahul. You wouldn't understand.
Oh.
Obviously,
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
No, I haven't
recently.
seen, not recently, but I mean, it's like, that's the kind of movie where, like, it makes sense.
That everyone's acting super...
Because there's no stakes in all these Bollywood movies.
It's like Let's Play.
Yeah, it's the most low-stakes drama ever. And
But
it's pure escapism.
It's pure escapism. So when the characters are, like, crying, I didn't get his blessing, but they live in, like, a Downton Abbey manor, you're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, and this is like, but like, you think about this scene and you're like, why do Hades and Persephone have to dance? Like, what have they done so far that dancing, like, from the perspective of an audience member who wants to see them interact, there's much more interesting things that they could have done than dance at this time and place, right? Because they've already made out, they've already had phone calls at 4 a.m., they've already gone on shopping sprees. Dancing? That's like something you do before you kiss somebody, right? To build the tension of the interaction between
I don't
the
know,
two.
like, the scenes with these two are so hollow that when I read Let's Play and I saw Marshall and Sam interact, I felt so much more. Because they have hobbies and interests and personalities.
Yeah.
Like, when he was trying to pay her and she was like, no, F you, like, that was more entertaining and it was a more interesting dynamic than these two, like, cardboard NPCs.
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
No.
And, like, so Rachel just has to engineer situations from, like, rom-coms, but it's like you said, like, there's no tension. They already like each other. They're already in insta-love. There's no conflict between the two characters whatsoever. It's not like the characters are, like, you know, in, like, the proposal or whatever, where they're pretending to be engaged to each other.
Yeah.
And, like, they actually hate each other, and they're being forced to dance, so it's, like, funny, because they have to pretend to like each other, but they actually don't like each other, you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing here. There's no dynamic, there's no tension, there's nothing interesting here. It's very similar to that scene in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. But that scene in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai has so much more, like, emotion and tension behind it, because it's the first time Rahul and Anjali are seeing each other in, like, 10 years, and, like, they can't admit that they like each other, because Anjali's about to get married, and Rahul's like, no, you live once, you die once, you love once, you know?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna fall in love with another woman again, you know?
No, it's crazy, because it's like,
So there's stakes, there's conflict.
Yeah.
And you know that the two characters like each other, but they can't be together at this point.
No.
So it's fun to watch.
It is, and it's like, are they gonna be together,
And meanwhile,
or aren't they?
the Dadi and the Johnny Lever
Yeah.
are trying to get them together,
Yeah.
along with the little kid. So they keep forcing them into situations where they have to, like, interact.
Yeah.
And the two characters are really awkward around each other. Ironically, there should be so much between the two of them getting together.
Yeah.
Like, Persephone says, we haven't even been on a date, and they should be tiptoeing around each other. Like, it would be so much more entertaining if Persephone was staying in Hades' house, and he was, like, working 24 hours a day. He's like, I don't want to come home and see Persephone there. It's just too awkward. I can't
Yeah.
deal with this, you
Yeah.
know? And, like, Persephone is, like, trying to make him breakfast in the morning, but she sucks at cooking, you know? Like, just have cute things like that where she's like, oh, I made you breakfast, and it's like an egg that's like torn in half.
Yeah.
You know, because she can't cook for crap. She sucks at cooking, you know? Like, just something like that where it's like, there's funny, awkward moments where they're running into each other. She has to use his bathroom, and she's like wearing a bathrobe, and he's like, oh my god, you're only wearing a bathrobe. I'm gonna avert my eyes and run down the other hallway.
Or like the bath thing, right?
The bath scene was so boring.
If he goes into if he goes into the bath thinking he's gonna take a bath, and then she comes up out of the water, and he's like, oh my god! And then he immediately fizzes out of there. And then he's in his study, naked and soaking wet. And he's like, great! Awesome! You know? Nothing like that. There's so many ways to make it so much more charming and, like, heart-wrenching, where you're just like, oh...
The most fun that people have reading romance is watching two characters be awkward around each other because they like each other, but they can't admit it.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing, again, Let's Play. The reason people like Let's Play is because friggin' Martial Law is attractive, and Sam used to have a crush on him, but she can't admit that she likes him because he ruined her chances at the game. But Marshall's a great guy, he's really nice, and they keep, like, having engineered situations to be together. Not as well as it could have been, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if they're coworkers or something, and she sees him in a new light. But it's still, like, to the point where people are like, oh yeah, there's something there. There's nothing here. It's so boring. And like I said, the trial, they should be like, oh, we can't because of the trial. I don't know if I'm going to be locked up forever. Or just, heck, make it so that Persephone actually wants to get arrested. Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't deserve it because I'm a genocidal maniac.
No, how great would it be if Zeus kept her in, like, a prison at wherever he works? Because I don't know where he works or what it's called.
Olympus.
Yeah. Like, whatever his building is that he's in, and she's, like, there, right? And Hades keeps coming up with reasons to visit Zeus, and Zeus is like, you're here an awful lot. Yeah. And it's because he's sneaking into that part to be with Persephone to talk to her.
That would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah, and he's, like, sending her coded messages, like, I don't know, Thetis, Zeus' secretary, comes to Persephone and goes, hey Persephone, this is for you. And then it's like some obscure thing that only Persephone and Hades know, like baklava or something. Yeah. And she goes, am I supposed to know what that means or something? And she's like, nah, it's nothing. And then she, like, sits and she's, like, so happy because she's like, oh, Hades remembers me. He remembers that special moment we shared. Right. There's nothing here. And, like, it's crap. It's, like, so boring to read.
It's extremely boring to read.
Like, they're acting like they have never kissed each other before, and this is the closest they've ever gotten to each other ever.
But even if a couple's, like, together, there's ways to write that and make it entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, there's ways to inject interest into a relationship that already exists. Like, again, with Peach Girl, like, I think the main characters get together, like, halfway through the series. Yeah. And it's still interesting to read, because there's, like, other stuff going on. It's not just revolving around the main characters. But the problem with Lore Olympus is, like, the B-plot, like, the Chrono stuff, is so poorly written that there's nothing to engage with. And then the A-plot, which is the romance, is so hollow and shallow and just ripped off of whatever romance movie Rachel's reading that it's effing boring.
It's so boring.
You know, like, there's no stakes, there's nothing to hold on to here. There's no emotional resonance. And then again, like, everything that's not Hades and Persephone is just crap.
Yeah, like,
it's awful.
It's like, can you imagine that they're, like, dancing around the fire here?
Yeah.
When Minty was just turned into a
plant.
I know.
Literally that day.
That day.
Yeah. He's done more than enough.
Like, what would her flower nymph sisters say about her turning Minty into a plant? A river nymph, one of their fellow people, right? Like, a person from their background being callously turned into a plant. What would they think of that side of Persephone?
They probably wouldn't say anything, because they're all, like, her stooges. They're all her ladies-in-waiting. They've been brainwashed to, like, worship her and Demeter, obviously.
Yeah. And so these...
Dude, it's the same. Oh my god, it's the same faces.
Yeah, it's the same flipped panel.
Oh my god.
Even the collarbones and the cleavage is the same.
She just pasted that face into the middle one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks so bad. And then the eyebrow here is just... That looks like a mistake.
Yeah.
That eyebrow looks like a huge mistake.
They just shifted the faces around. That's all they did. It's bizarre.
Wow, this is horrible.
That eyebrow was made extra thick. Because they duplicated it, and then they forgot to erase the top part.
Yeah, I know.
This is embarrassing. Like, this part, when I started reading it, I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's just so hollow and poorly done. It's very bad.
I don't know how to dance. Of course you don't.
But how does she not know how to dance? Like, it seems like in the mortal realm, it's like freaking, you know, it's basically like pagan, I mean, it is pagan times, it's ancient Greece. As far as I know, dancing was like normal back then.
Yeah,
and she was raised in the moral realm.
Not only that, but her mom put her in a bunch of hobbies and after-class things. And they showed, like, tennis and all this other stuff that wouldn't have existed in ancient Greece.
But, like,
spelling bees and everything
all the
like
stuff that people did back then was, like, they had so many festivals.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I mean, one of the extracurriculars wasn't dancing, I guess.
It should have been dancing, and, like, traditional dance, singing, playing an instrument, using the loom. Like, why was she put in a bunch of stuff like tennis? Like, was it to be relatable to, like, the modern day audience?
I guess.
But she lives in the moral realm. So why weren't her hobbies, like, dancing, using the loom, embroidery, cooking / baking, singing, traditional folk dance? Like, she should be a highly educated young lady of the ancient world, and women back then were educated in, like, crafts and arts. Mm-hmm. I mean, not that she doesn't have to be also educated. Demeter could have given her a regular education as well, and she could have still gone to the moral realm, but it would have been more interesting, it would have made her more different if everyone's like, you know how to do, like, river dancing? That's so lame, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, what my grandpa used to do or something. Like, it's very old. She should basically be written like a woman out of time.
Yeah.
She should be written like somebody literally from ancient Greece plonked into the modern day.
Like Diana.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman. So, like, the fact that she's watching freaking Griffin live streams is, like, so stupid.
No, when Diana came to modern day and she saw the stupid outfits they were expecting women to wear, she's like, this is so impractical.
Is this what passes for armor in your country? How can a woman possibly fight in this?
I mean, half the charm of freaking Wonder Woman in the original movie, which is like one of the best DC superhero movies, is watching Gal Gadot act like a woman at a time, and then Chris Pine is like the charming male love interest.
Yeah, that was a romance that was also endearing. This is just crap.
And then all of a sudden she's like sassy here, you just like when I shake my butt. This is drawn by two different people again, because her finger is not connecting with him. He's suddenly like on her level. They're not looking at each other, and his line art is a totally different color.
And look at the big oofta mistake they made there.
Oh no! It's almost like somebody does the panel background, which is a nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody else draws one character, and then the other person draws the other character. But I don't know why you would do it like that. And then they just paste the characters in.
Yeah.
Why would you do it like that?
It's ridiculous. I don't understand how this is made. It's like if it's like, okay, you get a sandwich, right? You get your 2 slices of bread, you put your mayonnaise, your mustard, you put your greens, tomato slice, your meat, your cheese, and then you put the sandwich like this. And then it's like somebody else says, no. This is how you make a sandwich, all right? First, you get the meat. You just put the meat there, and then you put the mustard in between the meat, and then you fold that up. And then you open it up again and put the tomato inside, then do that. And then you get the lettuce, or the greens, right? You put that down, and then you put the meat on top of that. And then the bread, you throw all of that stuff up into the air, and then you catch it with 1 slice of bread, and then you put the other bread on top, and then you flip it like that, and then put it down. And then you open it again and put the cheese in, and then you close it. That's how you make a sandwich. And it's like, no, why would you do that? Why would you make a sandwich like that? Yeah, you might have a sandwich at the end of the day, but like, you might drop the sandwich and be like, oh crap, oh frick.
And it's gonna take you much longer to make it that way.
And you got like hairs in the sandwich because you dropped the meat on the floor. It's all over the place, and it's like, oh crap, I forgot the lettuce, and then you give the sandwich to somebody else. Hey, can you put lettuce in there? And you're like, oh yeah. And then you rip open the paper that you wrap it in, and you shove lettuce just in the side, not even in the sandwich, just in the side.
Oh my god.
And it's like the lettuce isn't even in the sandwich, and then you give it to the customer, and the customer's like, what the F is this? It looks like somebody did the lettuce after somebody else did the sandwich.
Yeah.
Why would you do that, right? And that's just what it is. That's why all these mistakes are here.
I mean, this panel, her face is rendered so differently from Hades' face. She has so much shine. The line art is black.
Yeah.
And he's got blue line art and no shine.
Yeah.
It's so different. It's distractingly different. Shut your mouth, Brenda.
Very
the true
nice.
face of Persephone.
Yeah. Very nice. Kind Persephone that loves her family.
The kindest being that Hades has ever met.
Guess I'll have to fake it till I make it.
That's like her motto. She also fakes humanity.
Yeah. Till I get that sweet, sweet pomegranate.
I know.
Let me see.
I thought she was gonna take his hand and put it on her boob.
How does she not know, like, basic dancing?
This isn't even like how they danced in ancient Greece. This is like modern day slow dancing.
It's like, what's that
It's
called?
like high school.
Waltz?
No, it's like high school prom dance. It's slow dancing. It's where you just The guy holds onto your hand, and then he holds onto your waist, and you just sway. It's like white people slow dancing at a high school prom.
It's not Bhangra, that's for sure.
She didn't even look up, like, ancient Greek dances, because I'm assuming ancient Greek dances are closer to, like, you know, Indian dancing or something.
Yeah, it looks like Bhangra to me.
Yeah, line dancing.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, before TV and before, like, all of this stuff, you know, Christian morality, dancing was very, very complicated and like, it was an art form.
Yeah.
You know? Even post-Christian morality, in, like, the Victorian era, the dances were very complicated.
Yeah.
You know? Very ritualized, because there was no other form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. That's what I'm imagining. Like, wild dancing, you know,
Yeah.
like
friggin' hand up on one side, foot up on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally thinking, like, Bhangra style dancing.
Or line dancing.
Yeah, holding hands
You
and
know
going in a circle.
that scene from friggin' Prince of Egypt,
Yeah.
where Jethro is, how can you see what a man is worth?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of!
Through head.
Yeah,
his
that's
eyes.
ancient dancing right there! She's never even seen Prince of Egypt. That was a movie you could have
She
ripped
probably
off.
has seen Prince of Egypt.
That was a movie you could have ripped off, and it would have been fine. I would
Yeah.
have been happy if all the people were doing, like, ole, you know?
Yeah. Do 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 do. This is just crap.
Let me help you with the... Just a fly. Your hand goes on my shoulder like this.
Why did Hades say you don't want to see me dance? If this is what he's doing.
It's not even a real dance.
I thought he'd start, like, crip walking. Or the jerk, you know, teach me how to jerk.
The worm?
Yeah. Could you imagine if he started, like, b-boying? do, do. And he's, like, going, like, yo. And he's, like, doing the funky grandpa and stuff.
Doing the robot.
Yeah. The what's that one called? The sprinkler? Running in place. The shuffle, right? Like, could you imagine if Hades is embarrassing like that? At least that would have been interesting.
Like dad dancing.
Yeah. And he gets winded, and then he's like, oh, my back.
Because he's old.
Yeah.
He should be like, if you wanted to make it modern, he could be doing like embarrassing dated dances.
Yeah, he could
like
be
Whip It Devo.
Yeah, do the disco thing. And he starts, like, trying, and then Persephone's like, I gotta get out of here, man.
The running man.
Yeah, they're running, jogging in place. The electric slide.
The Macarena.
Yeah, dude, have Hades do the Macarena.
Her eye is way too big here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we just sway to the music. He just tricked her probably because he doesn't want to bust out his embarrassing dance moves. So he just tricked her doing this like really like lame Disney dancing.
Not even holding hands, man.
No, that would have been too hard to draw.
It's crap.
I got confused at this next part. Why does she say indulge me?
I don't know. The next panel.
I know.
So bad. His face.
Oh my god!
Larry the cucumber returns.
I mean, she looks like she's squeezing out a shark.
Yeah, she's like, ugh. A painful one. Though you may have indulged the others,
What does that mean? Oh, the people watching them?
the others will arrive soon with their materials. Skull emoji. Eye emoji. Pyramid emoji. Those who don't know. Those who know.
Exactly. Oh my
Look
gosh.
at his big meat hooks.
I know. They were so lazy. They just made everyone pink.
No, look at the difference in head size.
Oh my gosh, some of them are so small. This lady is like, somebody get her some help.
Then where'd the kid go?
Oh, you know what? These two are copy pastes.
And then flipped?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I see that.
The copy paste and flipped.
No, it looks like somebody drew the outfits on them differently.
Yeah. They changed the neckline.
Yeah.
But the shape was copy paste and then flipped it. Flipped and then this one's slightly bigger.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's so bad.
How can you tell what a man is worth?
These people are worth nothing, especially this lady with the black hole mouth.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna ask a hypothetical question.
Oh, maybe that's why it's called hypothetical.
This is another hypothetical question about becoming the ruler of the universe. Oh my god! What is wrong with her hand?
No, they're both huge in this
Oh my
film.
god, I just realized that was his shoulder!
Both huge. They're
Oh my
both the size
god!
of Mr. Incredible in that panel.
No, they look like pieces of lunch meat.
Yeah. Soft pink butt.
like 2 pieces of lunch meat.
Why did they get so huge all of a sudden? It's not consistent at all.
It's
It'd be
so
one
bad.
thing if she was like this all the time, but the implication is that, like, from 3/4 view and from the side, she looks normal, but then when she faces forward, she's like the Kanye West meme.
I know.
You know, like that stupid video he did where they're wearing those giant box
I
things.
know.
That's what it's like. It's crazy.
It's horrible. I'm the subject of Zeus's party. Not sure where this is going, but yeah. Like, she suddenly looks really big here.
She looks, like, old and big. Like,
She looks like Demeter.
Yeah, she looks like a woman in her 30s.
Yeah, and she looks like Demeter. Like, Demeter's almost as tall as Hades.
Yeah, it'd be nice if she looked like that all the time, but she just doesn't, man.
When we first met, let's pretend I didn't get blackout drunk. You didn't, dude. You got freaking drugged, and Eros told you that you got drugged.
Yeah. Does
So why-
Hades know?
But why is she, like, she never told him. But why is she rewriting history here? She never told him. So I guess she's protecting Eros.
Yeah.
That little a-hole. Go on. Why is he... This doesn't even make sense.
Where are her fingers?
I know, I'm saying this doesn't even make sense for how they're standing.
No.
This doesn't make sense at all.
It's like she's, like, way down there. and
It's like
he's
it's like he's twirling her.
Yeah.
But he's also like...
No, he'd be twirling her if his hand was like
if
this.
both of their hands were like that.
Yeah, but he's, like, reaching down.
He's reaching down.
And she's, like, reaching up.
Yeah, it's like he's holding the hand of his 5-year-old when they're crossing the street.
What would have happened?
What would have happened? Yeah, between you and me. Story would be over because he wouldn't have talked to her without her being drugged in his car. Her face looks awful here.
I wish that he did get to hit on her, though, and she wasn't just put straight into his house.
No, but he wasn't going to hit on her.
No, he was going to go talk to her, and then Zeus was distracting Artemis while Hades was supposed to go talk to Persephone, and then Eros immediately takes her into another room where he gets her super drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it would have been at least nice to see him try to flirt with her and make a fool of himself.
Yeah, but why was he trying to flirt with her when he wanted to propose to Minty just hours before?
Because wanting to propose to Minty was an afterthought. I don't think that should have been in the story.
I think that was a retcon.
It was a total retcon to make Minty an even worse person. I think he should have actually tried to flirt with Persephone, and then he makes a fool of himself, but she, like, smiles at him. Like, kind of like, do you remember in Om Shanti Om, when Shah Rukh Khan is on the red carpet?
Oh yeah, he gets tangled up with Deepika's, like, earring or something.
Yeah, and her like, churiya, right?
Yeah, and she's, like, smiling at him nicely, like, graciously, even though he's making a fool of himself.
And then when he's in the theater watching the movie, he starts dancing, then he gets kicked out, and she, like, smiles and waves at him, right? You could have had something like that.
Yeah.
Where they meet once for the first time, and then time passes. For God's sake, let it stew, let it develop, please, you know? And it's like, that would have been much more interesting.
I can't stop thinking about her.
Yeah.
She must have thought I was such an idiot.
Exactly.
And then she's like, oh, he was the only person who was nice to me at the party.
Yeah, he was the only person who didn't act like I was a stupid village girl.
What's wrong with her face here?
Keep going.
It's like so crooked. The perspective makes no sense. He's got the Kronk neck.
Look at his neck is so wide.
That's not how people with white necks look. You're asking me how I would have hit on you? What would have been your big move? Indulge me. Crumbling at your feet count as a big move? And then she's got giant threatening hands. Big hands that she's gonna use. It looks like her hands are one panel away from going around his neck.
Exactly.
I would have definitely asked you to dance.
But you just said you don't want to see me dance. No, no, I'm not going to dance.
He didn't ask her to dance here. They forced him to.
Yeah.
Her body is so messed up.
She's
here.
tiny.
No, her neck.
Look at her boobs.
Dude, look at her neck.
Yeah.
It's like here. It's like on her back. Her neck is on her back. I would have pulled you in really close. And this isn't the panel that people like, it's the redraw by the assistant.
Yeah.
And then I would have whispered.
What would you have whispered?
I'm infertile. I'm married.
Yeah.
Wow, it seems like he's super into her.
This part is so stupid.
Yeah, like he would totally destroy anyone who ever hurt her, you know? Yeah, like he would totally rip them apart.
I hate that writing.
The writing is so bad.
Like, that's not funny, it's not clever, it's
like
annoying.
It's like spelling it out and giving everyone no personality. They're just very, very transparent megaphones.
No, it's supposed to be funny.
I know, but it's not funny. It's
No.
like you're writing. It's like the writing that you would put in a kid's show.
Yeah.
It's like the writing that you would see in SpongeBob, for Patrick to go like, "Bing," you know, and then he's like, "Oh," you know, and it's like the writing that you would give the NPC fish.
Exactly.
You know, like the cops in the episode where SpongeBob thinks he killed someone.
Yeah,
the health inspector.
The health inspector, or like
it's almost like you guys have got a dead body in there.
Yeah, Patrick saying, "Are you gonna trust a big dummy, or are you gonna trust me?"
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
SpongeBob's like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like
it's
stupid.
extremely childish.
It's
so
stupid.
juvenile. So for people who are like, "Oh no, Lore Olympus has never been for children," that's not true. First
no.
of all, the way that she draws the characters looks like Steven Universe mixed with Bratz. It's a very juvenile art style, and it's targeted to kids.
Yeah.
With the pink and blue and the sparklies, it's targeted to kids, you know? The art style is not mature at all. And then second of all, the writing. The writing is like, it's not even YA. The reading level for this comic is probably like, I would say like a 4th grade reading level.
Yeah, if that.
It's very, very, very low in terms of like the vocabulary, the plotting, the complexity of the themes, the morality,
the word count.
The word count. It's like baby's first webtoon. Like honestly, it's literally, especially when you compare it to Let's Play. Yeah. And Let's Play is no like, it's not like she's friggin' Dostoevsky over here.
No, dude, that scene about the friggin' intern in Let's Play explaining color blindness. Oh my god! Like
if you compare the word count between Let's Play and Lore Olympus, literally Lore Olympus is like a 3rd grade reading level. So everyone who's like, "Oh yeah, it's 100% for adults," like, no, it's not. 100% is not for adults.
No,
it doesn't play to an adult audience at all. Like when I read this for the first time in like 2019, 2020. I felt like I was reading a comic for kids. Yeah. And that's why when she got assaulted out of nowhere, I was like, what the F am I... And the DDLG stuff, I was like, what the F am I reading?
Exactly. Like, you compare that to...
It'd be like if Magic Treehouse had, like, DDLG relationships, BDSM themes, and then, like, rape in it.
Oh my god.
When it's written for kids, it's like a chapter book for kids.
Yeah.
And it has illustrations in it, too. In fact, Magic Treehouse has more complex themes.
It does. Yeah.
And it has a better executed build-up of the mystery of Morgana than this does.
Exactly. Exactly.
Honestly, like...
It's just trash.
It's trash.
And
it's so juvenile, lowest common denominator, poorly written, you know...
The fact that it won an Eisner Award, and then you compare that to other award-winning comics
I
like
know!
Watchmen.
I know!
Like, Rorschach's opening monologue in Watchmen. Oh my god. Right?
If you're reading this and you think that this is for adults... I bet you don't read books.
No.
I bet you do not read actual paperback novels.
No.
And you don't watch adult movies either. Or if you do, you consider Marvel to be like for adults as well. Because like this is 100,000% not for adults.
No.
And if you are an adult and you consume explicitly or exclusively media of this type, stop infantilizing yourself, dude.
It's embarrassing.
Go read a book that's written for and by adults. Go read comics that are written for and by adults. Go watch something that's not Animu or Steven Universe. Like, please, I beg you.
Yeah, that's why it has no content warnings on it whatsoever. Even in the episodes that contain Rachel's self-imposed warnings, there's no content warning from Webtoon.
There's no rating on this comic.
No.
There's no ratings on any comics in Webtoon.
No.
There's nothing that says, like, parental advisory or anything.
Rated PG.
No,
PG-13.
and I think Webtoon does this on purpose. They're basically skirting the line of what is and is not appropriate for children. They just won't include, like, hardcore sex scenes.
Yeah.
But they even have F-words and stuff in their comics.
They do.
And they have off-screen rape and off-screen sex and, like, really problematic relationships in all of their most of their romance comics. Yeah. And they're saying, like, oh, it's PG-13, but it's like, just because it doesn't have, like, explicit content on the screen doesn't mean that the themes are appropriate.
Yeah. Like, and another thing that really annoys me is that you'll see this in Canvas, too. You'll have some Canvas comics where the artist blatantly advertises their 18 and up Patreon.
Yeah, where it's like 90% censored.
Yeah, and it's like they'll show that at the end of the chapter, saying like, oh, you can go subscribe to my Patreon. And there's kids in the audience saying, oh, I really wish I could see your Patreon. And it's like, just don't do that, dude. Like, what's wrong with you, right? Don't advertise your not safe for work Patreon to your freaking child audience. No. And Webtoon won't stop that.
Because it's not explicit.
No, it's like inside you.
Yeah.
Like, the creator is like, oh yeah, guys, sorry, I had to censor like 90% of this chapter. But if you go to my Patreon, you can read it uncensored. It's like, why is it on Webtoon? Why is it on Webtoon? You know, when people get the mature content warning, you can just click it away. And they can make a new account with the aged up thing, and then they can read it. And, like, the whole premise of some of these comics is so bad. Like, there's one called My Super Hot Cousin, right?
Oh, there's one about a guy, like in prison.
Yeah, my cellmate, right? Like, and then you have like Lore Olympus, which is all about her powers being so sexually desirable.
And she's with a 45-year-old. That's what I'm saying, like, it's so dishonest. Like, there's a difference between explicit and then, like, actual themes.
Yeah.
You know, like, I wouldn't friggin' show a kid even non-explicit stuff that has explicit or even morally gray themes. Like, I wouldn't show a kid Breaking Bad.
No.
Breaking Bad is, like, PG-13. I wouldn't show a kid that.
No.
Because the main character's a villain. The kid wouldn't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have stuff in our comics that's pretty heavy thematically, right?
And it's not explicit.
It's not explicit, but it's, more importantly, it's condemned by the narrative. It's shown as a bad thing, right? It's shown as, like, this guy's a scumbag, these are villains, these are the victims, these are the heroes, right? This is the person you should be rooting for.
No, but more...
And our comics aren't aimed at a child
That's what I'm saying, like,
audience.
more importantly, the way that we write and our art style and the way that we approach our comics, they're far from juvenile.
They're obviously not for
like, you
children.
can say, like, oh, Rachel says it's not for kids, but it's like, look at the art. Like, you have a brain in your head, use your critical thinking skills.
The gray cells.
Yeah, look at the art style, look at the reading level,
Yeah.
look at the way it's written, and tell me that is not for a child audience. You'd be lying through your teeth. You'd be lying through your teeth to tell me that it's not a kid's series.
Yeah, pink girl, blue guy.
I mean, come on!
Yeah.
It's a kid's series with disturbing themes and, like, disturbing porn star female main characters.
It's like Elsa Gate all over
It is!
again.
It's like Elsa Gate. That's what I'm saying. And that's why it ticks me off way more than Let's Play. Again, the reason Let's Play probably isn't even as popular as Lore Olympus is because it's not as juvenile.
Yeah,
the
it
art
looks more
style
mature.
is not as appealing to children.
No.
And everyone knows, like, YouTube knows this. People on YouTube know this. If you put stuff for kids on YouTube, they will watch that stuff over and over. It's free money.
It is.
Hijacking the brains of kids, that's the whole point behind TikTok.
Yeah.
And part of the reason Lore Olympus is #1 is probably because all the kids reading, rereading, commenting, liking, creating bot accounts to support the freaking comic. That's probably what it is.
But didn't you say on her social media she's trying to get more on TikTok so that she can get her younger audience? Like, she's advertising to kids, basically. So even she knows her main audience is kids. It's like,
of course, she's Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
She's Jake Paul on Webtoon.
Buy that merch. Buy that merch. Buy that merch.
Dude, buy that merch.
That's what she is.
All I want for Christmas is that Jake Paul merch. All I want for Christmas
she even
is
made a
Jake Paul
cringy
shirt.
anime opening,
Yeah.
which is basically for the kids, for the children in the audience.
It's so creepy, dude.
She knows what, if she doesn't know what she's doing, then, like, that's not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse to committing a crime under the law. Not that she committed a crime, but, like, ignorance isn't an excuse in my book.
Yeah, because this is gonna make people salty, but I would never do that.
I would never, that's what I'm saying.
I would
and
never
that's what
do
I was
that.
just saying. I know the ingredients for her success, but I have the integrity where I would never lower myself to this level just to make money.
No.
And that's what ticks me off, because it's like, I know why she's popular, and I could do the same thing easily, but I'm a better person than her, so I never would.
No.
And for all the people saying, like, you're just salty because your comics failed, yeah, I'm salty because my comics failed because they're not aimed at kids, and they don't put sex in front of kids, which is what's gonna get them to click.
Exactly.
That's what it is. That's literally what it is. I didn't make a child series full of sex and problematic tropes and make money off of that. That's why I'm salty. Because I didn't go the porno route. Yes, that is why I'm salty. 100%, I'm confessing right now. And that's probably gonna have to be cut because I'm so mad. But that's why I hate this series so much.
It sucks, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah, can you imagine if SpongeBob had, like, sexual content and extreme violence in it? And it's clearly aimed at kids. But then the creator, Hillenburg, is like, no, it's aimed at an adult audience.
No, that would be so creepy.
And this is why the Netflix show is never going to get made. They probably looked at the demographic of this comic, then they read it, and they were like, no way in F are we going to be able to make a cartoon that's aimed at, like, 8-year-olds with this stuff in it.
No way.
No way.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It is. I mean, it would be like Cuties all over again.
It would be, yeah. And they learned from Cuties.
Except Cuties isn't even aimed at children.
No.
This would be aimed at children. It's friggin' horrible. Can I help you with anything? I got this. You should go relax. But here's the thing, like, she knows all of the nymphs who came over because they're all, like, quote-unquote her sisters and friends. How come she didn't recognize Voldemort over here, who's clearly a stranger?
Nobody else did either.
Nobody else did either.
And they all know each other.
Yeah, they all know each other.
It's like if Molly Weasley is having a gathering with all her family members, and Harry's there too.
Yeah.
And he's doing the dishes, and then Voldemort comes up to him and says, "Can I help you with anything, Harry?" And he goes, "No, I've got it. I'll join everyone in a second. I'm good. You go relax."
No, but that's not even the thing, because, like, Harry doesn't, like, maybe the Weasleys have a family friend over.
Oh, so it'd be like Ron.
It'd be like Ron. Ron went to a family reunion and friggin' Voldemort showed up. Yeah. He'd be like, I don't know who this person is. I've never met them before in my life. This is my family reunion. What the F are they doing here?
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Oh my god.
Things seem to be going well with you and Hades. This is where she has no mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take it you're not interested in Hestia's establishment any longer. This is coming out of nowhere.
It is, especially because it's like, she said, are you going to trust some random goddess you barely know, or are you going to trust your family? And again, that thought was in one ear and out the other.
Because Leto, after learning that Persephone accused Apollo of assault, immediately went to go talk to Persephone into marrying Apollo.
Yeah.
What the F, bro? What is going on in this comic? And she was only introduced in, like, episode 145.
Yeah, it's trash. It's like,
she was
so
introduced
bad.
5 episodes ago.
Yeah. And her
Why aren't we getting Demeter again?
No. But, like, dude, this is what I was saying when we were reading this. I could never in a million years have predicted that the same day that she sees her kids, she would go to Hades' house
one day
that
later.
night.
It's Sunday to Monday.
How did she even know she's at her house?
I don't know.
Has his house. Like, how does she even know?
I don't know.
What about the Act of Wrath?
I don't know.
What about Zeus?
I don't know.
What about the trial?
I don't know. This is coming out of nowhere, and it goes nowhere. It's so stupid.
Cut that entire tangent.
It's so stupid.
It's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of our time.
Yeah, I mean, we could just, like, skip past this and have her, she goes, what about Apollo? And then Persephone goes, who are you? And then in the only thing that matters in this scene, because the whole scene with the pool is effing pointless, the only thing that matters is that she tells Persephone that Hera and Hades used to be a thing.
Yeah, and the thing that annoys me is that on that last chapter we just read, 157, the top comment is somebody saying, did Leto really watch Hades and Persephone dance and flirt all night only to show up and say, what about Apollo? Like, okay, I see where he gets it from. Like, blaming the mom
for the fact that Apollo's a rapist.
I thought the dad would be more of an indication, right?
He has no father figure.
So, it's ridiculous, though, because it's like, Leto... We don't know anything about her character.
No, you know she's evil because she's got black eyes.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a veil and she speaks in italics.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like, why is she like a villain all of a
She's
sudden?
characterized as more evil than Apollo
Is there one mother in this entire comic who's actually like a good mother?
No, but you know what's really funny? When Apollo was saying Persephone is saying bad things about me and I don't know why, in that scene, Leto is playing way more of a villain than Apollo is.
Yeah.
And Leto's acting like she's the mastermind behind this whole thing. When it's like, Apollo's the one who actually raped her. But now Leto is more of a villain than Apollo because she's the quote-unquote mastermind. It's like there's no such thing as an evil man. Even Kronos is like more of a sympathetic figure than Demeter and Leto and, I wouldn't say Hera, but Demeter and Leto. Like, she just freaking hates women, dude.
But why is there not one positive, like the only positive woman model that they get in the entire thing is like Rhea, right?
Rhea.
And she's barely in the story.
She's a Persephone clone.
She's a Persephone clone.
And she's fridged for Hades' trauma.
Yeah.
She's basically fridged because Hades came from a domestic household and he watched Kronos, like, abuse his mother. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason she's there. She was a perfect mother so that when she gets abused by Kronos, Hades can feel bad. But the implication is that if she had any flaws, then it would have been fine if she was abused by Kronos.
Exactly. So it's
158 baggage, stupid Thanatos crap no one cares about. Hades just confirms that he knew about Minty and Thanatos. So this whole episode, well, not this whole episode, but this episode and the therapy episode feel like Rachel's trying to clean up loose ends.
Yeah.
So for the people who are criticizing Hades and Persephone's relationship, that Hades was cheating on Minty with Persephone, because at the time when they were having the conversation in the Room of Requirement, he had just pledged to be faithful to Minty in like a full-fledged relationship versus like the whatever arrangement they had before where they were just casual.
Yeah.
That was just cheating. He was emotionally cheating on Minty. And now Rachel's trying to be like, well, what about Minty and Thanatos, you know? But we remember, the second that he had that conversation with Minty, she told Thanatos, we can't do whatever it is we're doing anymore because I'm back with Hades and it's a full relationship now.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, they were in like the closet.
Yeah. So is that technically cheating if they weren't in a monogamous relationship and they were just casually dating? They weren't even dating, they were seeing each other.
Yeah.
I don't consider that cheating.
They didn't even show to the point, like, it wasn't at his house, like she has a key to his house or anything like that. It was literally in, like, a supply closet at work.
Thanatos?
Yeah. Thanatos
Yeah, she didn't have a relationship with Thanatos. She was just screwing around with Thanatos.
Yeah.
And then with Hades, did he even take her on dates?
Minty?
Yeah. I saw he took her to parties as his +1, so his, like, the reason he took her to parties is because in the first episode, he hated being told by other people, where's your +1?
Yeah.
Why aren't you with anyone? He hated being alone.
Yeah.
So he was basically using Minty for his own personal reasons.
Yeah.
You know, his own personal, he didn't want to be alone at the parties.
Yeah.
Everyone else is in a couple, I don't like being alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Minty to these parties with me. But did they ever, like, I guess they went out to dinner, or he made dinner for her that one time.
Yeah, he made dinner for her once,
But did they ever go out together?
I don't know.
I feel like it was always like a secret relationship type thing.
Because she said, do you remember that time we spent the night at your office? She didn't even say, do you remember when we took that trip to so-and-so?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like a real relationship. It feels like a relationship with a guy that's, like, keeping it secret. So the only time you ever see each other are when you go over to each other's houses.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't go out together. He doesn't take her shopping, you know.
No.
So, like, they didn't have a real relationship. When he said he was going to be loyal to her and that he wanted to be in a real relationship with her, he was cheating on her with Persephone, emotionally. Mm-hmm. And then the second he did that, she broke it off with Thanatos. Mm-hmm. So she was never cheating on him with Thanatos.
No.
But Rachel's trying to manipulate the audience here into thinking, like, see? It was the same. Minty was cheating on him, just like he was cheating on Minty. But we all know that's not true.
No.
So, teasing the audience, like, does he know we went to Zeus? I know you and Minty had a thing. Why does he even bring it up?
Because he wants to tell him that Minty turned into a plant.
Oh, right.
But Minty turning into a plant doesn't have anything to do with he and Minty having a thing.
Yeah, and Thanatos doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was an incident at work today. Percy lost control of her powers and turned Minty into... This is such a lie. We saw that Persephone hunted Minty down and turned her into a plant.
She didn't lose control of her powers.
Terminator style.
Yeah, she said, perhaps...
it'd be better if you didn't have a mouth at all.
Yeah, perhaps it'd be better if you didn't... So she was fully within her capabilities. Yeah, her faculties, as it were.
She's just a freaking dickhead. They even cut this off in the middle of the conversation for him to discover Leto.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's so annoying because you can't have, like, characters reacting to things because they always get cut off by something else.
Yeah, like, instead of dealing with the aftermath of Minty turning into a plant, she just gets a phone call. And then we cut to this crap, you know?
Yeah.
And instead of having anything happen with her family members and Hades, you just cut to Leto. Mm-hmm. And then the Leto thing's even broken off.
It is.
It's so irritating to read.
It is. And then, like, the Minty thing, she gets the phone call, Leto shows up, and then when Artemis confronts Apollo, Leto shows up, and then,
when Ampullus and Eros are alone, she might discover his powers, Apollo shows up.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's just, you're constantly being interrupted.
She gets bored.
Yeah.
When she's writing the story, and instead of continuing with one, like, thought, like a single thought, and seeing it through to its conclusion, we know she doesn't do any planning. We know she watches TV while she writes this. Mm-hmm. She gets bored.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, oh, how can I manufacture some drama? Oh, I know, I'll just introduce this plot tangent. Mm-hmm. And throws it in there and doesn't even think about the fact that we've had, like, last count was like 90 plots going on in season 1.
Something like that,
that still haven't been resolved.
No.
I'm gonna be really interested to see what the final plot count is.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
What is Leto doing here? Why is she cleaning Hades' pool?
She's cleaning up after the party.
Hear me out. You and Apollo make such a fantastic match. Stop. The goddess is spring, the god of sun. I'm incredibly rude. Apollo's my son. My name is Leto. Lady, I am so done with your family right now. Why didn't you do this to Apollo?
No, she's only doing it to, like,
women
who are, like, small, right? Yeah, she just completely almost drags her veil off her head.
I know.
Could you imagine? Like, that veil, like, it's part of her character design, right?
Yeah.
It's, like, something that's important to her, because the first time she showed up, she had the veil as well. It'd be like grabbing a woman by the hijab.
That's what I was thinking.
Yanking her, right?
I know.
Like, I don't know if Leto wears it for modesty or what, but, I mean, why...
She wears it because she's a villain.
It's so rude to just grab a veil like that, dude. Like, that's so friggin' rude. I cannot believe that.
But people would counter, it's rude for Leto to show up and demand that you marry Apollo.
She's not being rude in her manners. She's just talking about, well, how come you haven't considered Apollo? That's it. Leto doesn't know the context of the story. You know, you could easily solve this by saying, because your son is a friggin' rapist.
I know.
Like, you could easily, why don't you ask him? Look, these are pictures he sent me.
Nobody can ever talk straight in this comic. It's not just Eros who isn't straight. It's the whole cast, the whole story. It's just a series of crooked lines. So the art included.
The representation has been there all along.
I know.
Right?
Nothing is straight in this comic. This whole comic is gay.
Yeah.
I swear to you, he's heartbroken. Please give my son another chance. Why is she doing all these perspective shots all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Is she drawing this anymore?
I don't know.
Who's drawing this comic? Forgive him, he must have said it in a moment of passion. I have no need for a man who will hurt me with his passion, says the woman who just turned another woman into a mint plant in a fit of rage, and Apollo has done nothing of the kind to her. All he's done is say things that hurt her fifis, and he had sex with her, and she said okay 3 times.
Yeah.
But she didn't enjoy it. Like, he didn't hold her down, he didn't slap her across the face, and he didn't say shut up whore, let me do my business, he didn't drug her, he didn't, like, call her names after the fact.
No.
Like, what the F is going on in this comic? Does nobody know what's going on? She's committed genocide, and she, like, basically killed a woman earlier today,
Yeah.
both in a fit of passion, but she, oh, no, I can't stand a man who says anything bad to me in a fit of passion.
No.
That's abuse, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes, queen. You go, girl power, feminism, hashtag.
Women.
Hashtag women.
Loving and supporting other women. Crying emoji, heart emoji. No, but we actually talked about this. Like, thinking more about the assault, Rachel intentionally made it a gray area assault from the beginning.
We can keep that for the therapy episode.
Yeah, but
because that's when it's actually addressed.
it is. But like for what you just said, Apollo has never intentionally hurt somebody in this entire comic.
He's like the one character who hasn't committed any violence.
Like Eros attacked the mortals.
He drugged Persephone.
He drugged Persephone as well, and Aphrodite did something mean to Persephone out of spite. Right?
Yeah, she told Eros to drug her, potentially to get her raped.
Yeah, and then she also turned Amplius, or Psyche into Amplius as a trick, like a hee-hee-ha-ha for her son, so that's mean. Ares, he, like, effed with Persephone's feelings for his own amusement.
Yeah.
He thought that was funny. He lied to her.
That's not a violation?
No, yeah, he lied to her. He pretended to be illiterate so that he could spend time with her and, like, make out with her, basically. Hermes lied for Demeter to cover up the act of wrath. Apollo hasn't done anything apart from the initial assault, which is really, like we said, more of a gray area thing because Rachel intentionally wrote it to be a gray area thing so that it would be a point of drama, but he hasn't hurt anybody in the entire comic. He's never done anything evil for the sake of being mean to anybody. Not for the sake of being mean. Like, he didn't realize, it seems more and more obvious that he didn't realize that Persephone wasn't having a good time during that initial, like, interaction. He didn't realize what was going on. In the last interaction with him and Leto, he seemed genuinely hurt.
Yeah, he seemed like he didn't even realize that Rachel forgot, and Apollo also forgot that he doesn't realize that he's supposed to be lying there.
Yeah, because Rachel herself probably still believes that it was a gray area thing, and the fans are the ones who jumped down her throat and kept saying it was an assault, it was an assault, it was an assault. So she retroactively changed it into being a way worse thing than it was, because the whole point of it being a gray area was that Persephone didn't want to tell anyone, because if you say that I said okay 3 times and I just laid there like she does during therapy, nobody's going to believe you, and you would get kicked out of the TGOEM because people would be like, well, that just sounds like you regretted it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like he forced you. It sounds like you didn't know what you were doing and now you regret it.
All he had to do was threaten her and have her say no. She says no, or she fights back, or she otherwise indicates that she doesn't want to do it, and he just pushes past those defenses.
Yeah, Rachel intentionally wrote it, though, with her saying okay 3 times
she
and
did.
never saying no.
No. And she even said, maybe
Yeah.
if I do this, then I can get out of the cage that Demeter's put for me.
Exactly. She wanted it to be a gray area. She didn't set out to make it unequivocally, like, no questions asked, it's right, 100%. Because otherwise it wouldn't be a plot point that you might get kicked out of the TGOEM if you tell them.
Well, the other thing is, in Persephone's history, she did the same thing with Ares.
Yeah.
She didn't even like Ares, but she fooled around with him out of curiosity.
Yeah.
This is a pattern of behavior. She's like, I don't want to be a virgin forever, so I guess I'll have sex with this guy I don't really know or care about. If you had a different situation where you were coerced into something or you were drugged, that's not what happened in Lore Olympus. We don't get the drugging scene, and we don't get, like, in order for there to be coercion, there has to be leverage. Yeah. Whether emotional leverage or physical leverage, where he threatens her or implies a threat, a physical threat, but that doesn't work in the context of Lore Olympus because she has powers. Yeah. And she's shown to be physically very strong. We don't know what Apollo's powers are, but I don't ever see Apollo using his powers in a physical sense. I just saw him heal.
Exactly.
She seems to have very strong offensive physical powers. So if that's the case, the physical threat is almost nullified. But there's no emotional leverage either because Apollo is a stranger to her. And she's not a people pleaser. She's not trying to be cool. So there's no reason for her to acquiesce to Apollo on an emotional level. It's not like he's her boyfriend.
No.
If he was her boyfriend and they were dating, this was their first night out or second night out, the first time she was like, oh, he's really charming, he's really cool, seems like a really nice guy. And then the second time he's like, Persephone, if we don't have sex, I'm not going to take you out anymore. You know, like that would be closer to the line of like coercion.
Yeah.
Where he's manipulating her into having sex with him because, you know, he's a piece of crap. And she goes along with it because she's naive and she just wants to like, he's holding a relationship over her head basically. Yeah. And saying, you're not cool if you don't sleep with me. I thought you were cool like the other girls,
yeah,
blah,
like
blah, blah.
in friggin', you had a
And that's
case,
way more common, too.
Yeah, you had a case in Australia a few years back where 15-year-old girls were talking about how they had crushes on guys in their classes in high school, right? And the guy they had a crush on said, I'll go on a date with you if you send me nudes, right? And this girl has, like, idealized this guy so much in her head. She's put him on a pedestal. She really wants to go on a date with him. She's imagining things like holding hands, getting lunch together, sharing a kiss, and he says, yeah, we'll do all that if you give me nudes. Yeah. Right? That's coercion. That's douchebag
But that involves a 15-year-old girl who's very naive, and you could have had that with Persephone because she's very sheltered. Yeah. And that would have been, coercive. It's still not a crime. No. It's not a crime unless the guy's, like, 20 and the girl's 15. Yeah. But it's not a crime, but it's still, like, way more on the level of, like, morally gray a-hole behavior. Yeah. But yeah, this whole thing is just so hypocritical, and it made me, like, pop an aneurysm. Yeah, especially because she looks like a friggin' hashtag boss bitch in this scene with the, like, DreamWorks face. Yeah.
She looks like the bee from Bee Movie. Barry B. Benson.
I know he has seduced you with his wealth. It's true. She was showing off her prizes to Daphne. No sunlight for you here. Neon lights with underworld cannot sustain you. It's true. Like, they never address this.
No, but this visual is bizarre to me.
Yeah, this visual is terrible. Because it's all about nudes. Nude poker, late night dancer show. Like, what's up with all the porn references?
I don't know.
In a kid's comic.
Yeah, and she's like wearing a micro dress and she's crying. And she's got a heart-shaped bag.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, the implications that Hades is gonna force you into, like, sexual servitude or something.
Yeah, like, I don't understand what this visual
has anything to do with anything. Yeah, I don't know what it has to do with anything.
It's so stupid because she goes, my respect for your daughter is the only reason I'm not calling for Hades right now, as if she's completely incapable of taking Leto on herself.
I know,
right?
I know.
It's so manipulative. Your son has no love for me, and I could not care for him any less. It's like the writing is trying to be so poetic.
I know. The answers are not yet clear to me. Why is she talking like this all of a sudden?
She actually doesn't have a lot to consider about her future because if you guys remember the Fates, she's gonna be Hades' wife.
Oh, not only that, but even before she became Hades' wife, her biggest ambitions in life were to get her ears pierced and
go on a date.
Go on a date.
Yeah. She has no choice in the matter because we already know.
I know, we already know. So this is all pointless. She's like, don't you care about what your mother will think? No.
Don't talk to me about my mother. Look past his baggage. Her waist is tiny.
I know. She's so slanted and her waist is tiny. Like, her head and shoulders are straight, but the rest of her body is extremely slanted.
Yeah. I like how the biggest thing she has a problem with Hades isn't the fact that he ripped a guy's eye out or that
we forgot to mention that, by the way. That's another aside that we forgot to mention. So when she said I was, like, really angry and mildly aroused when she turned Minty into a mint plant, the other time she was aroused around Hades was when he was putting that guy's eyeball back in.
Yeah. She likes gore.
So she has, like, a friggin' gore fetish.
Yeah, she likes gore.
So Hades likes feet and vor, and Persephone is turned on by violence. Yeah. So that makes the act of wrath a lot worse.
Yeah, let's just say it's in her memory bank for later.
Oh no!
So
that's so epic. Why would you write that? Why would you? Because this is like 2 times now that she said, like, I was aroused, and then earlier, like, it's heavily implied that she was, like, having some sort of, like, sexual fit when Hades was putting that guy's eyeball back.
So this person commented, Leto, you have no right to talk about Hera. Miss, I slept with Hera's husband after being Hera's bestie.
Everyone in the comments has just absorbed the misogynist narrative, and they all just hate the women in this comic as much as Rachel does.
I mean, doesn't that mean that Hera has no right to talk about, I don't know, Minthy because she slept with Hades while he was with Minthy?
Yeah, but Hera hates Minthy.
Yeah. So, like, how can she hate Minthy and call her trash and all this stuff when she's literally having an affair?
Behind her back?
Yeah, behind her back.
Because Hera's the worst character. One of the worst characters in Lore Olympus.
That's terrible, right? And that's another thing. Not only was Hades cheating with Persephone while he was with Minthy, but he was also cheating with Hera. So, he's like a scumbag.
He's the biggest piece of trash. Oh, I don't know if I told you this, but Rachel said in another interview or like a Patreon thing that the only relationships Hades has had before Persephone were all like sugar baby arrangements. That's the ideal man. A guy who uses women in a transactional manner, like basically buying prostitutes. That's the ideal man.
No, I guess that's supposed to be like I don't know, like a charming, good thing because...
No, it's an awful thing!
No, but it's supposed to be, because hear me out. It's like the thing that you're threatened by is somebody, like, it's like, babe, it didn't matter, I didn't love her like I love you.
Yeah, no,
right? That's why it's like a good thing.
Yeah, I treated her like a warm sock.
Yeah.
That I used and then threw dollar bills at after I was done.
Yeah.
And then he says, like, I'm not used to, like, intimacy or something.
Yeah.
He said, like, I would be emotionally distant in all my other relationships, but he was basically putting it in, like, a sexual way. In that bathtub scene, the bath scene. So yeah, I mean, I guess what Rachel's implying is that he's like slept with a lot of women, but it was all very transactional and emotionless, which is not endearing. It's effing creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's
creepy. If a guy only has history, you know, he's 2,000 years old, and the only women he slept with are all like basically sex workers.
That's a red flag.
A red flag.
Because it's like that means he's so like unpleasant to be around that no woman has ever like fallen in love with him.
Well, not only that, he hasn't, like, none of those women have turned into relationships for him. Like, he's incapable of relating to women.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a real relationship with a single woman. Even if it started out as, like, a transactional thing. He never grew attached to any of them. He never tried to start a relationship with any of them.
He never viewed them as more
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
Like, it was just a transaction.
Just the booty call that I paid after.
Just an object. Not a person with feelings.
Like, he just bought relationships, and he never got emotionally attached.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Like, that's sociopathic.
It's creepy.
It's friggin' creepy.
But that's, like, the only relationships incels can aspire to, because they don't view women as humans.
No.
So the only relationships they can aspire to are buying...
Transactional.
Yeah, buying affection, buying
intimacy. A woman who can cook and clean for me, not that I can actually personally relate to, and then a woman that I enjoy, like, having sex with, because she's attractive.
It's terrible.
Not because I actually like her.
Oh, geez. Hades just keeps getting better and better.
It's friggin' weird, bro.
And by better and better, I mean worse and worse.
Oh yeah, this is your favorite episode.
My favorite episode.
159 extra baggage. Hey, is that the singularity again?
Yes, it's the same thing.
Singularity! It made another appearance! No sun gods, you know the rules. Since when?
Yeah, I don't know when that's a rule.
They forgot to color in this asset.
Yeah.
Oh my god, her face.
This is so stupid because Leto came to Hades' house to talk to Persephone.
Yeah.
If she knows there's a no sun god rule, why did she go there? What would have happened if Hades found her before she found Persephone?
Why did she go there in the first place? If Persephone's an international fugitive, why would she still want her to marry Apollo, knowing that she's wanted for treason and she's going to have a trial that will bring scandal to Apollo?
She should go...
Why would she try to marry Persephone Apollo right before Persephone's about to go on trial?
She should be talking to Zeus, if anything.
Yeah.
And saying, what's all this? Like, catch me up. What's going on?
It's really...
It's like the dumbest piece of work made by another human being that I've ever read in my life.
Even dumber than My Immortal.
It's dumber than My Immortal.
Is it really?
It really is dumber than My Immortal.
Persephone looks like a beach ball here.
Yeah. She's got like a tiny head and a huge body.
Where? Here?
Yeah.
Oh, dude!
Yeah, like she looks bizarre.
Her boobs sliding off.
Yeah, like what's happening there? This is when we notice Persephone looks like she's like bigger, taller, and older. Yeah, that's my favorite panel.
That's like old school Persephone, but she looks like a child here.
Yeah, this is when she starts having little Persephone flashes. Because at the therapy session, she's got...
Oh, yeah, that was stupid.
The scared Persephone
that was so
coming
dumb.
and talking to her.
Oh, she forgot to draw her mouth.
That's what I said. She forgot to draw her mouth. So now we just see that Leto's like...
She's an Andalite.
Yeah, and they don't... Her text isn't italicized either.
Nope.
So...
Yep, but they remembered the filter. So she just tells her that Hera and Hades had an affair. Persephone's more upset about that than she was about the assault.
Yeah.
Again. And Persephone looks really tall and really big here. Like, she looks like a friggin' lifter.
Yeah.
Her hair is even growing long.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh my gosh. How can I possibly compare to Hera holding the tiny toddler lingerie that would never
baby
fit her?
onesie lingerie.
Yeah. So this is definitely Tuesday then.
Yeah, definitely Tuesday.
Ah.
So she's going to therapy.
I better go in. Oh yeah, the dog. She didn't even bend down to pick up the dog. All I can think is that she like yanked the leash really hard, like a yo-yo, and the dog just flew into her hands.
If there was like this, you know, the motion lines of him going pat against her chest, that would have been what that is.
What the heck? Why'd she do the finger guns?
I don't know.
This is so stupid.
What was Rachel thinking when she had her do the finger guns?
This isn't even funny.
No, it's just, given the context, it's like, why?
Centaur is like...
She's staring at her hand.
She's having a moment.
She's going like...
And her hair keeps changing.
Yeah.
This is so pointless. So this is the famous panel.
Vile centaur.
She has a history of exposing herself to unwitting strangers.
And that guy is like reaching for her.
I know.
Too.
Oh
like,
my
he's
god.
kind of like, what's that?
Put it away.
Yeah. It looks like she just disrobed and she's gonna like strangle him or something, you know? Like,
and she's even got a pervert smile.
Yeah.
She's gonna garrote him with her thong.
It's weird. Yeah, but after a while it got burned out, aka they took away her license.
They caught me.
Yeah, they caught me.
Persephone, goddess of spring. You already know that, yeah, you're a friggin' wanted criminal, and we just completely dropped that plot line.
Why is the therapist okay with giving her therapy and not calling somebody and
No,
saying,
but
like,
here's the thing. That was a super dramatic plot point in the
Yeah.
beginning of season 2, remember? Because she went missing for like 2 days.
Yeah.
That took up like 14 episodes, and at the end of that episode was the Zeus arrest warrant.
Yeah.
And then within 5 episodes, it's completely dropped.
It's gone.
It's gone! We're on episode, what? 159? It's just completely left the story at this point.
Yeah.
The Zoom call was, what, 30 episodes ago?
Something like that, yeah.
No one cares. No one effing cares about this story.
No, the commenters don't care. Nobody's asking in the comments. Like, the top comment is not, what about the warrant for arrest? What about
the Zoom call?
The Zoom call. What about the extradition? Nothing.
So stupid.
It was never resolved. It's really frustrating. And that's another reason why, like, if this was a TV show, you'd be sitting here going, why is she going to therapy now?
It'd be like in the middle of 24 if Jack went to therapy.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you going to therapy now? Like, I thought you guys had, like, a warrant out for your arrest. Like, what is this? It's weird. It's really strange.
It is like 24 because it all happens in 2 weeks.
It does.
And it would be like if 24 just cut to like random crap.
Yeah, like it's strange.
It'd be like if 24 had the B plots like in Lost where they build the golf course.
Yeah.
Like, Jack, what are you doing?
Like, we're stranded on an island, like friggin' John Locke scraping food into a trash can. When they're on a desert island and they have no food to eat, and he's just scraping it into a trash can. Like, what is wrong with you? What the heck, right?
Give it to Hurley.
Seriously, like, you're friggin', like, ridiculous, man. Did you forget that you're on a desert island? Like, what the heck?
I hate the art. Her boobs are 2 different sizes. Her eyes are totally different.
The bean hat.
The hair doesn't match. The colors are totally different. The art is so bad. I haven't been able to attend classes for a while now.
2 days.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. The last time she went to class was presumably on Thursday.
Yeah, so Friday and Monday, she hasn't been able to attend classes.
We're paying more attention to the story than the writer. I actually received a scholarship to go there. I've always gotten really good grades.
But the scholarship that she got has nothing to do with her grades.
No, it has to do with her being a virgin.
Yeah.
Which is just stupid.
What is she talking about, right?
The TGOEM plotline is just like stupid, along with the fertility goddess plotline. They both need to be thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself to be a high achiever? My mother always made a tremendous effort to keep me focused on my studies. I thought she liked studying. She wanted to go to college herself. Like, this is so stupid. Every time she talks about herself and her personality, it changes.
Yeah.
Like, Hades is more consistent than she is. Now she's like, I feel sexual attraction and I really want to have sex. That's like the core of her character now. Now it makes it seem like when we were joking that she just wants to go off campus so that she can get laid, that actually is the reason why she wanted to go off campus.
Yeah, there was nothing about feeling tired or bored in the role.
And wanting to have a job.
Yeah, feeling like every day was the same and feeling like she wanted to do new stuff. The barley mother thing, that never comes up in this therapy session.
No.
None of that stuff. That discussion with Hades about your version of the truth, none of that stuff has any, like, commonality with anything she's talking about
it's
here.
Like she didn't even read it again.
She didn't even talk about the Act of Wrath here.
She just keeps lying about her backstory every time she talks about it.
It's so weird. It's like, we just had the interrogation. If you look chronologically in the timeline, he has that discussion with her about the Act of Wrath when? Friday?
The Act of Wrath was on Saturday.
Okay, so he's having that talk with her on Saturday.
She turns Minthy into a plant on Monday.
She turns Minthy into a plant on Monday, and then on Tuesday now she's at therapy. Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, and now here we are Tuesday. All the stuff she talked to Hades about, none of it is here where she's talking about this to the therapist.
No, because she's a compulsive liar.
It's weird. Like, could you imagine if you watched a TV show again, and you had the character on Saturday get, like, picked up from a scrapyard, and they give this whole traumatic backstory, and they go, okay, now she's gonna have therapy, and she's gonna talk about all that stuff with the barley mother and everything, and the Act of Wrath, and they're gonna unpack that. No.
The Act of Wrath doesn't even come up.
It's something totally random that has nothing to do with any of that stuff.
It's so stupid.
It's just bizarre.
What do you want to do once you finish school? It's almost like the Act of Wrath didn't even happen.
No, it's like, why even include it in the
story? It's like the Act of Wrath didn't happen, and the assault didn't happen.
Yeah.
And the Act of Wrath was, like, the Season 1 cliffhanger, and the impetus for Season 2. That was the driving plot of Season 2.
Yeah.
And now everyone acts like it didn't happen.
No.
Because we never go back to the trial, and she doesn't even bring it up in the psychotherapy session.
No.
And it has nothing to do, so my prediction was the Act of Wrath is going to be conflated with her loss of control, even though she lost her control, and that was what caused the Act of Wrath.
Yeah.
We didn't even bring it up again. I gave her too much credit to even bring up the Act of Wrath again.
No.
She didn't even bring it up again. Now she's blaming her loss of control of her powers on feeling pressure, outside pressure from everyone to fit in, as if the only loss of powers that has ever occurred is turning Minthy into a plant.
No.
It's like the Act of Wrath never even happened.
It's so strange. It's like, how did you lose the plot of your own story that badly?
When she committed genocide.
Yeah.
You would think that would be at the forefront of your mind.
You just had it a couple episodes ago, Eros saying that the mortal realm has suffered tremendous loss of life because of Persephone's tantrum.
Yeah.
How did you forget it so fast?
Well, Persephone forgot it.
It's so crazy, man. It's so strange.
It's like she has no guilt. She has zero guilt. She talks more about herself and feeling pressure than she does about killing, like, thousands of humans.
No, she even talks about, my mother wants me to run the family business with her and be a member of the Goddesses of Eternal Maidenhood. She doesn't even say the Barley Mother cereal. You've heard of it. I'm the mascot. I always feel like people were gonna remember me as a cereal mascot more than they're gonna remember me for being myself.
She lies to people to make herself look better and to give better cover for her actions, but this centaur lady doesn't know anything about the Act of Wrath, so she saw no need to bring it up.
It's so bizarre.
It's like listening to, again, a compulsive liar who always spins stories to make themselves look the best. Like, notice how nothing in this therapy session, she doesn't bring up the fact that she turned Minthy into a plant.
No.
She doesn't bring up her loss of powers.
No.
She doesn't bring up the Act of Wrath. She doesn't bring up anything bad that she's done recently. Like, I feel guilty for lying about the TGOEM to keep my scholarship. Everything that she's bringing up is all just to connect into one big sob story, feel bad for me, Persephone.
Yeah, and that's Rachel's authorial voice leaking through to the people who are probably asking her at this point, but where is she going to deal with the fact that she's done so much, like, so many horrible things, right? Like,
or for the negative comments saying, like, why is she losing control of her powers? I don't understand. It doesn't excuse what she did.
Yeah.
She's having an entire episode dedicated once more to retrod the ground that she already did in her manipulative interview with the vampire backstory episode. Let's retrod this ground. Let's pound it into the reader's head. Let's gaslight them some more to show them how bad and how sad Persephone is because people expect stuff of her. Do you think Apollo has a similar backstory?
Probably.
Because he doesn't even have, like, he has no father figure.
Yeah, I mean,
His mother's a social pariah.
He should, right?
His mother is very manipulative and apparently wants him to, like, marry Persephone to restore their social honor or whatever.
Yeah, and he probably feels a tremendous amount of pressure to be, like...
The sun god,
but to specifically, because he's a guy, a tremendous amount of pressure to exude an air of masculinity that he might not be super comfortable with.
And confidence.
Yeah, and confidence, and act like everything's okay and say, like, I'm Apollo, I'm great, but does he actually believe he's great? Because when he's talking to his mom about the fact that Persephone's upset with him, he seems genuinely upset. Like, his self-confidence and his self-validation depends on other people liking him. It doesn't come from within.
Or when Hera said, I'm not going to let you marry Persephone, and he got very triggered by that.
Yeah. Because he's been, like, projecting this air of confidence all his life, but he doesn't... I mean, like, she probably doesn't even have, like, that straight for Apollo. Like, she can't even figure that out.
No, like I said, she has no theory of mind.
Yeah, but God forbid you call him Ass Paulo. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. She doesn't like it when people do that. But also, he's the worst guy ever.
I know.
And he's the cause of all her problems. Even though Minty's the reason their life's in tatters.
No,
To keep up.
No, but
You
she likes it when people denigrate Minty.
Yeah.
She loves it when people hate on Minty in the comments. She doesn't have anything to say about that.
No.
Blah, blah, blah. Goddesses of Eternal Maidenhood. This is creepy art.
Sanpaku.
It's all planned out. Isn't that neat? Haha. She's such a manipulative liar.
No.
Like, she knows exactly what she's doing here.
Exactly.
That all sounds very exciting. She's like Casey Anthony manipulating the psychological... The psychiatrist who did her profile and said that there was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
But you just told me what your mother wants. What do you want? Everything you say in this place is private. I promise. Cliffhanger. Oh, and then we cut to something else.
Do you want me to read the top comment for that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the top comment for that 159 was, yes, Persephone, take care of your mental health, in all caps.
Oh my god. What about Minty?
I brought a mint candle just so I could watch it burn.
Oh my god. That's evil, dude. What about Minty? She had a worse backstory than Persephone did.
Yeah.
Minty's backstory is way worse than Persephone's. She literally lived in poverty. Like, what are you talking about? Persephone's a princess. Like, are you kidding me? Talk about lack of empathy, man. Okay, 160.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Called out. The dog is asleep. And she wrote her childhood on a whiteboard.
What's the blood?
That's like the act of wrath, I guess.
But all of the stuff written on the whiteboard is chores, study, TGOEM. It's all just about her and how bad her life is.
No, but we never get any detail about her childhood either, because you're not allowed to think of Persephone as a literal child, ever.
She's always drawn in boobs.
Yeah, like, there's no point in time that exists where, I mean, like, Hades has a lot of time talking about him as a child, a lot of imagery is him as a child. We never really get that about Persephone.
The only time is when she's talking about Demeter, and then Demeter was, like, holding her and kissing her.
Yeah.
And hanging out with her, but we never see much
No,
of that.
like, you don't see child Persephone's thoughts to the same extent.
You don't even see adult Persephone's thoughts.
That's true.
Let alone child Persephone's thoughts.
And then she says,
that's everything I have to share about my childhood.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's that thing about the eyes. You know,
like a callback?
The eyes that she was seeing the feeling, but she never, like, verbalizes it.
She never said that there were eyes. That was just imagery. It was metaphorical imagery.
I know, but it's Rachel being like, see, I didn't forget about the feeling. It's right
No,
there.
you know what it was? It was the comments going like, but what about the act of wrath? And then Rachel's like, oh shit, I gotta put that into this chapter, because the therapy session is broken out into 2 chapters.
Yeah.
And she forgot about the act of wrath, and she forgot about the assault.
Yeah.
Until this chapter.
Yeah.
So then she quickly snuck it in there, like, as a CYA when she completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
This is so stupid, bro. I think I had an ideal childhood. If she's sitting, why is this, like, disturbed vibration lines?
I don't know, she's like shaking while she's talking about it. And so then the therapist says, would it be safe to assume that you feel a lot of guilt for becoming an adult? What does that mean?
You shed your adolescence, you may feel like you don't resemble what she was hoping for in a daughter.
I've never gotten that from her at all. I thought it was about the cereal, the fear of being hidden in plain sight.
No, it wasn't about, like, not living up to expectations at all.
No, and being
in fact, she hated that the expectations that people had for her were so low.
Yeah.
It was a narcissist thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm afraid that I'll never live up to the expectations. It's, everyone just expects me to be a cereal mascot when I want to be dictator of the world, you know, or whatever.
Like, yeah.
I'm important, and nobody thinks I'm important. But now it's like, everyone expects too much of me. That's the complete opposite of what she wrote before.
It's completely opposite.
Do you feel like a disappointment?
I know. It's okay.
Yeah, I do. No, you don't! You said, I want people to know nobody knows who I am. That's what you said before.
Everybody thinks I'm a joke.
Everyone thinks I'm a joke.
And it's not about being a disappointment. If you say everybody thinks I'm a joke, that's not about being a disappointment. That's about people not giving you the respect and status you think you deserve.
You think you deserve, but also, if she's afraid of disappointing her mother, then why is she trying to go against her mother and go to college in Olympus? Wouldn't she simply be happy doing whatever her mother said?
No, she never does what her mom
She
tells
never
her
does
to
what her
do.
mom tells her to do.
Ever.
And she never even tries to live up to her expectations.
No.
She never goes like, what would Demeter do? What would Demeter be proud of? How can I make her proud of me?
Never.
That's never a consideration for her. In fact, she hates Demeter and she hates the rules that she sets for her.
Yeah. She hates her and she says, don't call your mom. She'll just be more worried. And she's always trying to skirt the rules that her mom sets for her.
She's not worried about her not being proud of her.
No, and she's not worried about all her friends not being proud of her either. She's embarrassed by her friends and family.
Yeah.
She was embarrassed when they came to visit her. Not like, oh, I want to make a really good impression. And then Hades is like, what's with you? Why are you like primping and preening and all this other stuff? She's like, because I want them to be proud of me and see how far I've come. No, she said, bury me, because she thinks they're embarrassing.
Well, the other thing that also happened is that when she got assaulted by Apollo, when she was considering the fact that she might lose her scholarship with the TGOEM, she never said, people will be so disappointed in me. She said, what if they don't believe me?
Exactly.
She never said, people will be disappointed in me.
No.
My mom will be so disappointed in me.
No, she goes,
just said,
what if they don't believe me? Yeah.
What if they don't believe me? How can I tell them?
Yeah.
But she's the one who said, okay, maybe this will get me out of the TGOEM.
Yeah.
So it just feels like she got her hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to give up the money.
No.
That's what it seems like. She's guilty for doing something quote-unquote bad.
And if that would have been actually more interesting.
It would have been.
If she did, like, agree to have sex with Apollo.
And then regretted it.
And then she's like, this sucks. This guy sucks in bed. He's terrible.
Maybe I'd be better off in the TGOEM.
Yeah, he's just gross. He's sweaty. He's making weird noises and weird faces.
And
just
he smells, yeah.
He smells bad, and it doesn't even feel good. It's, like, gross, because it's like, what's going on there?
Yeah,
and
no.
then just, like, oh.
It would have been interesting if she was like, I want to see what all the fuss was about before I committed to the TGOEM, but she's like, it isn't worth leaving that. Like,
no.
She could be like, oh, all of my friends are in the TGOEM. My mother would be so proud. It's a very, because right now she hates the TGOEM.
Yeah.
There's no information as to what they're for except for keeping women virgins.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're like, the ROTC or something where it's like they represent something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what values they represent other than friggin' chastity, which is so surface level, so shallow. It's not like she's like, oh, the TGOEM would be a great organization for me to join. They're so inspirational. They help women everywhere from Zeus. They shelter single mothers, like, nuns.
Yeah.
Like, nuns don't just stand for not having sex with men. They also stand for charity.
Yeah.
I don't see the TGOEM doing anything.
No.
But it would have been more interesting if she's like, I want to see what all the fuss is about, but after that, I don't care anymore. I
Yeah.
want to join the TGOEM.
Yeah.
And she actually likes the TGOEM. She's just not sure.
Yeah, because she's like, this Apollo guy is disgusting. I didn't like that. I didn't see what the big fuss is about. And, like, I should have never agreed to have sex with him because that sucked.
Well, because if she actually liked the TGOEM, but she was just curious.
Yeah.
That would be an actual conflict.
Yeah.
Versus hating the TGOEM.
Yeah, and you can have that be a plot line and have her not think it's a big deal. Because in the story here, she doesn't think it's a big deal. Which makes me further think that Rachel didn't intend for it to be a big deal.
No.
Because you have a lot of times where she doesn't even think about it at all.
No.
And then it comes out randomly. And
Yeah.
she gets flashes of it randomly. And so it would be like, that's an unpleasant experience. And then if he takes pictures of me, it's going to be annoying and ridiculous to deal with. That he's going to tarnish my reputation. And like, how when guys get nudes from their girlfriends or something, they share them with all their guy friends.
That would be more traumatizing than the bad experience.
That's so annoying and horrible, right?
It's horrible.
It's like,
it's very it's very embarrassing.
It is, and then he's spreading rumors, and everybody, like, could you imagine if her classmates, Tori and Alex, were saying, like, hey, Persephone, like, oh, like, I've already seen everything I need to see about you, and she's like, what are you guys talking about? And it turns out that Apollo spread those news.
Yeah, it'd be like the celebrity leaks of, like, Miley Cyrus when she was, like,
it's
17.
Humiliating.
It's
and
humiliating.
horrible.
Everyone blamed her for taking the pictures, and then, they also, like, the men were being creepy, and then the women would, like, body shame her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would be a much more interesting way to take this.
Yeah.
And,
it would give you a lot more stakes, and it would make you, like, it makes Persephone actually feel like her life is intact.
And it would make Apollo a bad guy, but he didn't actually rape her. She just had a bad experience, and then he's a total douchebag.
Yeah.
He's spreading, like, revenge porn or whatever.
Yeah, no, like, he sends those pictures around, and he didn't think much of it. Like, he could have sent them to, like, I don't know, like Thanatos, and Thanatos shows Thetis. And
I think it would have been interesting if somebody shared it with the paparazzi, because I think the paparazzi was such a lame.
It was.
It was so lame that was dropped.
Yeah.
Somebody should have shared it with the paparazzi, especially because she was just seen with Hades.
Yeah.
And then it should be like, Hades' new squeeze, getting intimate with Apollo. This pink slut is climbing her way to the top of Olympus.
Exactly.
You know?
And then people go like, oh, did you see her stretch marks? They were so, like, disgusting.
I don't know what Apollo and Hades see in her. She needs to lose like 20 pounds.
Yeah, she's
you know?
19 and she looks like that. Like, people were saying about Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
People were saying Billie Eilish had a wine mom body when she was like 19.
Yeah.
Because she dressed in like super baggy clothes, and the first thing when she wore like a fitted tank top, people were like, ugh. And it's like, seriously? She's a 19-year-old kid. Like, what are you talking about? She's got a wine mom body. Like, ew. Like, why are you talking about a 19-year-old like that? You could have easily taken that route.
Yeah.
And it would have involved the paparazzi. It would have made you feel really bad for Persephone. It would have actually had her to have something where she's like, this is like ruining my life. This is terrible.
Apollo would have been a misogynistic tool.
Rightfully so. He would have had a way stronger like villain arc, right? And it would be something that happens all the time in real life, handled in a way that has like some sort of respect and nuance.
Yeah.
Because what we have right now is not nuanced, nor is it like a respectful handling. It's like she sometimes remembers it, sometimes forgets it.
And it's not even clear as to whether or not it was assault.
No, and I don't think it was supposed to be in the first place.
It's like Psyche wasn't supposed to be black.
Yeah, she changed her mind halfway through. We already know she's got a track record for doing that.
She's got a track record of doing that.
Yeah.
She does that all the time.
And
she also never intended for Hades to have proposed to Minty.
No, and if she just stuck with her original plan for that plot line, instead of caving to the fans who were saying, no, that's assault, he's a rapist, he's an assaulter, then she probably would have had a better story arc.
I don't know, she would have ruined it sooner or later because she
somehow.
sucks at writing.
Yeah, probably, but I mean, it's like if you just stuck to your conviction and you made it a gray area and actually gave her a reason to not tell the TGOEM and be like, wait, like, I agreed to do it. I did agree to have sex with Apollo and I regretted it. And, like, it's a stupid mistake and I'm not going to make that mistake again. But now he's going to tell everybody that I agreed and I liked it. That would give her more agency. That would give her more boundaries.
It would make her a more interesting character.
Yeah.
It would make her more relatable.
Yeah.
And then it would give the whole thing like much more of like it's realistic for somebody to before they become a nun to be like, oh, I want to see what I'm missing out on. Oh God, this sucks.
And women can have regret and have bad experiences without being instantly labeled a victim.
Yeah. The other thing is, because this is a lot less unhinged.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you're gonna say that every unpleasant sexual experience is rape, that's like a lot.
Yeah.
That's like almost a majority of casual sex interactions that women have.
Yeah, like
according to studies.
Yeah.
Women don't enjoy casual sex for the most part. So if you're gonna label every unpleasant experience with a partner as rape, that's so myopic, so unrealistic, and it's just stupid. Because it's ignoring the gray area here, and just because you regretted it doesn't make it rape. And rape is a mens rea crime legally. Unless it's statutory doesn't matter if he didn't know. But if the man doesn't know because you didn't say or you didn't clearly indicate that you don't consent, it's not enthusiastic consent. Under the law, enthusiastic consent is not required.
No.
It's just, if you didn't say no, if you didn't fight back, if you didn't indicate in any way that you didn't consent to it, and he didn't know because your body language was not clear, then it's not right.
Yeah.
And people are gonna say, oh, that's victim blaming, blah, blah, blah. But dude, if you say, let's look at Lore Olympus. She said okay 3 times.
Yeah.
We don't see enough of the event itself to see her physically push back. We know she didn't cry. We don't know what she told Apollo. We don't know if she said it hurts. Stop. So in that case, from what limited information we have, that she said okay 3 times, and then in the scene itself, Apollo can't see her face, and she doesn't cry, and she doesn't fight back, because he or she says, I just laid there. How is Apollo supposed to know that it's rape?
Yeah, we never see it from Apollo's perspective.
No, we don't.
Ever.
No.
And he's carrying on in the story like he doesn't realize.
And if you're saying, enthusiastic consent is required, otherwise it's rape, what does that mean? Does that mean that a woman in bed has to act like a porn star? Because that's an unrealistic standard that you're forcing on women then. Because if a woman just lays there and doesn't make noise and is passive, now apparently that's rape.
Yeah,
But a lot of women do that in bed. They don't feel comfortable taking charge and expressing themselves.
And number one of all, Rachel wrote it that way intentionally.
She did.
She totally intentionally wrote it that way.
To be a gray area, because you have Persephone thinking maybe this will be my way out.
Yeah.
She literally had cage imagery and the door opening being Apollo's dog. I mean, how much more clear can you get?
So that's why
that she was using Apollo for her own purposes.
Yeah, the entire and that's another thing. If a woman doesn't enjoy having sex with a guy, but she's getting paid, right?
Yeah.
Then is that rape?
Because it's an unpleasant experience.
Yeah. Is that empowering or is it rape? Because it's an unpleasant experience. She regrets it as soon as she does it, but at least she gets paid at the end, so it wasn't for nothing.
If a woman's not enjoying sex, but she does it for another purpose, an ulterior motive that she knows the sex will achieve, i.e., either that's like whether that's like sexual like sex work or whether that's like sugar baby.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of women who are sugar babies for the guys that they're quote unquote dating, they don't actually like the guy. They do it for the money.
Exactly.
The money's a big motivator. They don't enjoy having sex with the guy. Is that right?
Yeah. That's what the criticisms have been for this. So it's just
the biggest reason going back to the routine, the biggest reason that people think it's is because she showed her disassociating, which is very strong imagery associated with child sexual assault and very traumatic assault, like violent assault. And the other thing that she showed was Apollo coming into her room when she was asleep, and this is the first day that he's met her.
Yeah.
If you took those two elements out and you replaced it with Persephone and Apollo on a date, and Persephone's flirting with Apollo because she enjoys the attention, and she's like, I think I might like this guy, he seems like a nice guy, maybe I'll sleep with him because I'm curious as to what... That's what she did with Ares.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll sleep with him, I'm not sure that I like him, but he seems pretty nice, he's charming, he's good looking, let's see what happens. I'm curious to see what this is all about before I commit to the TGOM.
Yeah.
If you went that route, I don't think anybody would be calling it with her saying okay 3 times, and then just not enjoying it.
No.
And then you took the disassociative imagery out, and just had her going like, he stinks, this sucks, I just want it to be over already. That's very relatable. That's a lot of women's first time experiences.
Exactly. And so that's why tone policing discussions of this topic is so frustrating, because it's people misinterpreting what you're saying, and they're just having a knee-jerk reaction to what you're saying. And instead of actually treating this as a piece of media, they're trying to call you bigoted, or they're trying to call you insensitive.
Yeah, as if the topic is off limits.
Yeah, and it's not. It's a piece of media. I mean, come on.
If it's in the comic and it's part of the reason it's getting awards, we're allowed to talk about it and dissect as how it was written and how it was poorly written in this case. Okay. It's really common for children who only receive praise for achievements to feel like a failure when they aren't being productive. I've never seen this from Persephone, ever. She hasn't felt like a failure for not going to school, for being a wanted criminal.
No.
She hasn't thought about Demeter being disappointed in her.
Yeah.
This is out of nowhere.
No, she's acting like everything she gets, she deserves, right? Like, the shopping trip with Hades, the payment at the internship, even though she doesn't do anything at the internship.
She's terrible at her job.
Yeah, she hasn't done a single thing. Not a single record has been entered. And she's like, oh, well, I'm getting enough money from the internship to afford an apartment. Yeah. Like, it's just something that just didn't even occur to her, that maybe I'm not earning this money that I'm getting paid because I didn't do anything.
We've never seen her have imposter syndrome.
No.
Ever.
No.
And that's what they're implying here. Mm-hmm. We've never seen her, freak out over not following her routine. If this was true, then she would be having a breakdown over not being able to finish her degree. Yeah. But that thought hasn't even entered her brain.
No. And compliment is misspelled in this next speech bubble. The next one after that.
Oh. Never gave me an unmotivated compliment. Ugh. Ugh.
But then it turns out that Demeter is disappointed in her,
because
right?
of the character assassination. Why are her eyes so wonky?
Perception?
Sometimes I feel like it's not just 2 assistants drawing different characters. I feel like it's one assistant drawing one half of the face, and the other assistant drawing the other half, because she has eyelids on one eye, or she has eyelid on one eye, and she has eyelashes on the other eye. But both eyes do not have eyelashes and eyelids.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's weird.
And again, Athena in the background. Dude, I thought that was freaking Thanatos.
I know. It's good to have an expressive... the sexual predator centaur. I'm imagining that she talks like him.
Yes! As you race through time, the whole world went to heck.
It's good to have... Why did she say They should respect your choices as an adult.
Because she's talking about children, that's why she's saying,
It's good to have and express gratitude for your supporters, but also it's good to have and express gratitude for your supporters. Why did she say supporters? Are they cheerleaders? This is such a weird conversation, and the language is so strange.
I doubt half the people even reading this chapter understood what the F was going on. I guarantee you the top comment is not going to be related to anything.
Because I don't even understand what's going on. It's word salad.
It is.
It's buzzword salad. After all, you're an individual with your own desires and aspirations. What You're stating the obvious. There's no point to this conversation, but it's being stated as if it's a revolutionary... Like, Persephone has her own goals and desires, and people should respect those goals.
Yeah.
Duh! But her goals and desires have never been in conflict with Demeter.
No.
She wanted to pursue... It's not like she wanted to be a tattoo artist, and Demeter's like, no, you young lady, you need to get a higher education so you can take over the Barley Mother Fortune. She wanted to go to college. They were on the same page about that. It's just that Persephone wants to get laid instead of being in the TGOEM. That's what this all boils down to. That's what she admits later.
Mm-hmm. So
what do you think would be the worst thing that would happen if you left TGOEM? Everyone would be upset with me. Maybe, but they can't be upset forever. Why should you be unhappy? I've been preparing for this for most of my life. At times I was really excited about it. We never saw that. But then, that's okay. You don't have to share things if you don't feel comfortable. I'm not here to judge you. I just experienced a lot of feelings of sexual attraction.
Yeah, so she's saying...
The truth comes out!
Yeah, she's saying she was excited to be part of the TGOEM until she started feeling sexually attracted to guys.
Yeah, and that's the whole, like, this is tying back to the Act of Wrath, even though she never mentions it, and it's tying back to her loss of powers.
Yeah.
The reason she got so upset during the Act of Wrath, the first time we saw it, was because she and Demeter had an argument about whether she would be commuting or not.
Yeah.
Not because of the nymphs. We never saw that part.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see that part in the first time, but the real reason she was angry, like, if it was just the nymphs,
Yeah.
then how come we saw that argument between her and Demeter?
Exactly.
If it was just the nymphs,
No, it's
then why did we see that argument between her and Demeter?
Because Rachel wanted to have her say, what I want is for you to leave me alone, and then they die, and then she gets really, really angry, right? Because she was already angry, and then, like, the
But
icing
the nymphs
on the cake.
at that point are an afterthought, and they're just fridged.
Yeah.
It's not the whole point of the character.
No.
That'd be like if in friggin' Attack on Titan, when Aaron's mom gets eaten.
Yeah.
Like, if he had an argument with Armin and Mikasa because he and Armin are fighting over Mikasa or something stupid like that,
Yeah.
and then his mom gets eaten, and then gets even angrier.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not like she fought with Demeter and then Demeter died, and then she's like, the last thing I ever said to her was angry, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
She got mad at Demeter, and then the nymphs died as an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting the focus, and the focus was on the argument.
Yeah.
Not on the Act of Wrath. And then it comes out here that the whole reason for her not wanting to be in the TGOEM, the whole reason for the Act of Wrath, the inciting incident, the argument with Demeter, her whole resistance to Demeter's plan for her, is because she wants to get laid.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason.
Yeah.
Confirmed. We were joking about it earlier, but it's confirmed here.
Exactly. And so, another thing is that it's like, the reason she felt she had to leave the TGOEM earlier is because Apollo had those pictures of her.
Yeah.
And he was going to show them if she ever told somebody. And she wanted to tell somebody, but now that the pictures are taken care of because of Hephaestus, she still wants to leave the TGOEM because she experiences a lot of feelings of sexual attraction.
Well, how come that wasn't the #1 motivation in the first place?
No, I mean,
I feel like it was, and then the whole story got sidetracked because of the assault plotline.
It did. That's the thing. Because the reason she said okay to Apollo is because she wanted to know what it was like. She was curious about what sex was like. And she was feeling, experiencing sexual attraction before that with Hades, right?
Why couldn't she just have a scene where she was enjoying flirting with Apollo, and she was like, he's cute, I'll just see what it's like, and then she has a bad experience.
She does say...
That would have been so much more intellectually honest.
Yeah, she does say, like, when she's with Apollo, she's, like, looking at him, she's like, I guess if I squint, he is kind of cute.
Yeah, but then they're fighting the whole time. She says, I don't like him.
Exactly. So she kind of shot herself in the foot there.
That's what I'm saying.
By not knowing what exactly she was doing.
That's what I'm saying. The whole build-up where he steals into her room like a creep was the reason why people think it's assault.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre now that she's saying she still doesn't want to be in the TGOEM because she experiences a lot of feelings of sexual attraction.
It's coming out of nowhere.
But that was, this is like the first time I'm hearing this because it's like the only time she's ever talked about sexual attraction is with respect to Hades, right? And even then, it's like, not really, you know, like only...
We only see flowers come out and we're never told what that means.
Yeah, with gore, right? So it's like, the mild arousal, that's like a sexual attraction when she turned Minthy into a plant.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he put the eyeball back into Alex, right? That's another arousal. I don't see her talking about sexual attraction. Like, it would have been great if she had a dream, right?
Or even if you do the thing that Let's Play did, where Sam was like staring at Marshall's chest and she kept stammering nervously.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like clear.
There's nothing there about her being sexually attracted to Hades.
And then they have this retcon where she sees him shirtless and she's like gibbering in the background. That never happened.
No, we've seen the events of the comic all the way up until
We've
this
seen
point.
the opposite. We've seen Hades staring at her boobs and going, I can't control myself around her. We've never seen the opposite.
No, it's just coming out of nowhere. And like you said, it would have been so much more intellectually honest if from the beginning she was like a rebellious girl who wanted to go out and experience the world, and she was really curious about dating guys. Her first experience sucked, but it wasn't assault. It just sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh man, maybe dating guys isn't worth it after all. But then Hades shows up, and she's like, wait, like, this guy actually might be worth it after all, but, you know, I want him to prove it to me that he actually does.
Yeah, because
like
then
me, right?
then it could be something where it's like, I don't know, like, I would be leaving behind so much for one guy.
Yeah.
And that would have been so much better.
First of all, get rid of the assault. Second of all, make the TGOEM actually do stuff that gives her a reason to want to stay, so she does have to make a decision instead of everyone would be mad at me.
And then, like, give her a pre-existing relationship with Hestia where she's, like, the cool aunt. And Hecate's in the TGOEM too, but it never comes up.
No.
And, like, if she had relationships with those characters, she'd be like, they would be so disappointed in me.
Yeah, they would think that I was, like a loser.
Or she could even, like, be like, look at Hestia, look at Hecate, they're so great, and they've never, like, they seem so happy. And she could even ask Hecate, do you ever wish that you had, like, a partner?
Yeah.
Hecate would be like, I'm complete all by myself, I don't need a partner.
Exactly.
She never even asked them what it's like, because
No.
they've been living in that lifestyle for hundreds of years.
Mhm.
Never even asked.
No.
Never even asked Artemis.
Yeah, don't you guys, like...
And then when she
you're
made...
never, like, looking at guys and thinking, wow, he seems nice?
Well,
like,
when she made Hestia and Athena in a relationship, she just completely, like, nixed the idea that women could ever be happy on their own and never in a relationship.
Yeah, that's not allowed in Lore Olympus.
Because she basically has, two of them are, like, secretly in a relationship with each other, they're just not straight.
Yeah.
And then Artemis, there's, like, a scene where she asks Artemis, and Artemis is like, no, 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 no. Like, Artemis is just denying herself.
Yeah.
It's friggin' bizarre. It's so weird.
There's, you know, again, single child-free women are the happiest demographic on the planet.
I mean,
right?
like, nuns back in the day,
Yeah.
like, there's so much historical precedence for people being, like, not in relationships ever.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably really common in, like,
Yeah.
the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
There were so many undesirable men and women who just never had kids.
Exactly.
Never, because premarital sex wasn't allowed. Yeah, like, why even include the TGOEM if it's so one-sided?
All throughout history, you've always had a subset of the population of women who just are single. Like, there's always been a subset.
And men, too, like
Yeah.
monks.
Yeah.
And eunuchs.
Yeah, like...
Like, that's a historical fact. Like, there's so many cases where, like, not everyone on the planet has kids.
Even Isaac Newton, he was pretty much celibate.
Yeah. So
So-
he went crazy towards the end.
Yeah, but not because he was celibate. I mean,
Who knows?
It's because he discovered physics, bro.
It's because he was drinking the lead. I mean, there's always been, like, in every society, there's always been a bunch of people who are forever alone.
Yeah, and there's
And
nothing
they
wrong
live
with that.
fruitful lives. Like, women who never married, never had husbands, never had kids, and there was no such thing as dating. Guys who never married, never had wives, never had kids. It's, like, normal.
This is like weird, like social media age FOMO behavior.
This is, like, friggin' incel behavior.
Yeah,
That's what it
it's-
is.
it's
It's
creepy.
incel behavior.
Yeah.
It's like acting like sex is the most important thing in the world. And it's really weird that, like, a 40-year-old woman wrote this.
Yeah.
This is so weird!
It is. It's like not important, and then again,
No, but it's never, like, it'd be one thing if Persephone's immature, and that's why she's saying this. Nobody
Yeah.
ever tells her that this is immature.
No,
Hades doesn't say it's not all it's cracked up to be.
no, trust me.
I thought they would go away, but they've doubled. Fake, retcon, never seen this before.
Yeah.
That sounds very natural, says
Not
the
really.
Flasher. I very much enjoy experiencing closeness. The thing that bothered me about this panel was that she only couches it in terms of, like, heterosexual contact.
Yeah.
She doesn't say I enjoy experiencing closeness with friends.
No.
Like, you can hug people, you can be close with your female friends without being gay.
No.
I mean,
and
like,
everything she's talking about like her sexual attraction doubling. There's nothing in the story apart from her like doing horrible things to people that has happened that would cause her sexual attraction to double. Like, what has Hades done recently that's caused your attraction to double?
took her on a shopping spree.
But there was, in that part of the story when he took her on the shopping spree, is because she felt terrible.
No, but she launched herself at him afterwards, remember?
Yeah, but it's like why? Like, I didn't get any sexual attraction doubling from that. It just seemed like, okay, this is the part
I
of the story
never
that didn't work out.
get that she's ever sexually attracted to Hades, ever.
No.
I only get that she, like, enjoys using him and
Yeah.
enjoys, like, getting money from him and attention from him.
Like, scheming or
Yeah.
something, right?
I don't want to give it up. This is such a weird panel.
It's also a retcon.
It's a retcon. We never saw that. I don't know if I can.
And I thought that was Leto, because she's wearing the same green dress.
Yeah, she is. Why isn't Hades naked in this panel?
Because they just did it.
What does Hera have to do with this?
Because she's worried about Hera now.
Why is she talking about that that he'd go back to her?
Yeah.
Why she's not worried about Minty? Minty's not real competition because she's not a goddess?
Yeah, so her whole fear is like, oh, if I leave the TGOEM, there's no going back in because virginity is a concept that exists in this universe. Once you punch your V card, it's gone forever. You can never get it back, so you can never go into the TGOEM ever again. And so she's saying, like, if things don't work out with Hades, then I would have given up everything because I would be a crappy girlfriend and dating him would suck because I wouldn't be the right partner for him, and I would have given up everything for that. But it's like, okay, so you can either be a virgin forever, or you can date Hades, but if dating Hades fails, you can go off and do other things.
You can date other guys.
You can date other guys, you can be single, you don't have to be in the TGOEM. Like, what is this binary? There's only two options.
Again, it's very immature. It's
Yeah.
just extremely immature perspective.
Yeah.
And again, she's not thinking about the assault at all. She's not saying, I'm scared because of things that happened to me. I'm scared of jumping in. I feel a lot of sexual attraction, but it feels wrong because of what happened to me. I got burned before. She just says, what if I make an inadequate partner? Again, Rachel's writing it as she's drawing it. She totally forgot at this point to put in the freaking sexual assault. Why are we just cutting to Hera? Too much stress. This is so pointless. Basically, all that happens here is that her doctor told Apollo, and then Apollo shows up. Offer still stands. I can take Persephone off your hands. What does this mean? Like, is he pulling like a Frollo? Give yourself to me, or I'll throw you in the fire?
I have no idea, but
would Zeus sentence Persephone to a marriage with Apollo to keep an eye on her and keep control of her? That seems really archaic for a modern set Lore Olympus.
No, he wouldn't because he suspects that she's a fertility goddess.
I know he wouldn't, but I'm saying like the way Apollo approaches it seems like it's an option.
Yeah.
Like if it's a female criminal, you could just marry her off and her husband will keep control of her.
It's weird.
That's like something from the 1800s. Like why is this in the story?
I don't know.
Why is it being portrayed as an alternative?
No. And when did he make that offer?
Never. Why the interest? I'm surprised you keep bringing it up. Honestly, I don't think she'd be good for your image. Like, she only had Zeus realize that she was a fertility goddess recently.
Yeah.
When he first asked to marry Persephone, when he was taking him to Helios, Zeus just said, nah, and it was like portrayed as like a dumb meathead thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And now Zeus is like, he thinks he's scheming. But it's like, since when did Zeus grow a brain?
No, it's because he thinks he's scheming now because now he is scheming. That's why. Because before, he wasn't scheming. That entire plot about the fertility goddess thing and how it connected to Apollo's motivation.
Yeah, because before he just wanted to marry her for no reason.
Yeah, it didn't exist. It didn't exist before. And now it exists. Now he's all of a sudden planning to overthrow Zeus, so everything is different. Everything is different now. Zeus feels like something is wrong. Apollo is scheming. They're playing 4D chess because now that is in the story.
Now that's the motivation. Before she didn't think of the motivation.
There was no motivation, yeah.
She just wanted him to want to marry Persephone. Aphrodite's still unwed and not a member of TGOEM. I think she'd be much more your speed. I feel like I could just really sort Persephone out, you know? Like, it seems like he wants a punishment marriage. This is so weird.
It is really weird. And earlier he said, I just want to smoosh her cute little face to Daphne. He wasn't talking about... Like, earlier it was, like, implied that being a fertility goddess made her, like...
uncontrollably attractive.
Yeah, uncontrollably desirable to these male gods. But now it's like, no, he's wanted to be after her the whole time so he could overthrow Zeus.
Yeah.
But that was never indicated, ever.
No.
He was telling her that we could be the next big power couple.
Yeah, because she wants to connect the fertility goddess thing to Kronos.
Yeah.
And then she wants to connect Apollo to the fertility goddess thing, so she has more of an overarching plot. And then she wants to connect the Act of Wrath to the fertility goddess thing and Apollo, because she wants to have more of an overarching plot, when in reality, she's probably got over 100 plots at this point that are all unconnected and can't be resolved in tandem with each other without major contradictions.
No, it's like, you know, you could have...
And she never wrote any of this down.
Yeah, exactly. You could have avoided all of this if you just planned it from the beginning, bro. But, like, what do I know, right?
Or you don't even have to, like, extremely plan it from the beginning with an Excel document. Just keep track of the plots that you've introduced and go, like, I already have 12 plots going on. I don't want to write this for 20 years, so I'm just gonna cut myself off there.
Yeah, like, just end the plot, man.
It's freaking
just
ridiculous.
End the plot. Like, she could have ended the Apollo thing with the lyre being stolen.
I know.
And he could have, like, never come back to the story after that.
I know.
You could have literally ended it right there, and we wouldn't have missed anything.
No.
Jesus Christ, man.
Apollo's face. I understand. He just vibrates like a broccoli.
Yeah.
It's because Hades likes her. Who am I to come between relatives?
Dude, you're his son.
I know.
Come between relatives.
You're his son.
What the F? Stupid idiot.
This is so dumb. If he doesn't know he's his son, then how could he overthrow him?
Does he not know?
I don't know. He's acting like he doesn't know. But she was like, his only two sons are Hephaestus and Ares, and neither of them would want to take his throne.
Yeah.
So if he knows that he's a son, that's why he's plotting against him. But he says here that he doesn't know that he's a son.
Oh my gosh.
It's so stupid. In order for him to say that, he would have to not know that he's a son, or Zeus doesn't know that he knows.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing was ever clarified, so I'm just sitting here going, why would he say that if he's a son?
No, but he implies even, like, at the end of the conversation, he goes, my mother sends her regards. As if to say, like...
I know that I'm your son.
Yeah.
Oh my god! This is so stupid!
And that's why Zeus is all sweaty at the end. He looks like sweaty purple Hades at the end there.
This is so dumb.
Yeah, but the sexual assault plotline wasn't even wrapped up in therapy in that episode.
No, it wasn't. It's the next episode, because she cut it off.
Yeah, so this the top comment for that chapter is, let everyone read it again, in quotation marks, your personal worth shouldn't be measured by how well you preform. And the second one is, Zeus, this is your chance to be a good guy for once, get rid of Apollo for us.
Why?
Zeus never gets rid of Apollo.
No. He's still running for president, and Zeus hasn't gotten rid of him.
Jesus Christ. Closing thoughts. Kabam! That was probably really loud. Let me not do that. Closing thoughts. Action. What do you have to say about the series?
I'm in my freeze response.
Okay. Let's do that again. Closing thoughts and action. This time, don't say anything triggering.
Yeah, I mean, you guys wanted us to be the vessels of your discontent, and I'm like shredding my voice every week, trying to deliver what people want to see, which is the WWE SmackDown of Lore Olympus.
My voice is literally starting to crack.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how, like, raw.
Now you understand. Now you know the pain.
I sound like Michael King.
I'm gonna come out of this sounding like Steven Tyler.
I'm not gonna bury you.
I'm gonna come out of this, like, a year from now, if we're still doing YouTube. I'm gonna sound like freaking Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna sound like I've been yelling and crying.
Yeah.
But really, we just finished, like, we're at 4 hours and 22 minutes right now because we went on so many tangents about how stupid this was. And we know that our tone can get a little volatile, so we were trying to be extra conscientious of what we were saying, but it gets to a certain point where it's just like really, like, I gotta repeat, if you're gonna get offended, just don't watch the video, right? Like, for yourself,
These
right?
episodes were so bad, dude. That's like... And we don't script these videos.
No.
These episodes were so bad, I was cringing just within the first 10 panels. It was worse than last week.
It was.
Last week, nothing happened, and it was stupid. This week, like, I was getting, like, actually angry.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately angry.
Yeah, it's like, bizarre. It's, like, it's frustrating to read. Like, I already said in, like, 2 episodes ago, I would have stopped reading it after chapter 10. Like,
I think this is the part where I stopped reading.
Yeah.
Because I remember the therapy episode, and I remember getting, like, so ticked off that I just didn't read it. I thought it was boring. And I was like, the plot's going nowhere. And I just stopped reading. And, like, this is the point where, like I said, you think the main plot of Season 2 is the Act of Wrath and the Fallout? It's been how many episodes since the Zoom call? The Zoom call is, like, 135 or something, right?
Something like that, yeah.
It is 135. I'm right.
You Lore Olympus scholar.
I am a Lore Olympus scholar.
Look at this genius.
A friggin' PhD in
your brain is
Lore
a
Olympus.
That's your brain is a Rolodex of Lore Olympus.
It's embarrassing. I'm developing prions in the place that used to be neurons. It's just all this stupid, useless Lore Olympus trivia.
Every time I read Lore Olympus, I like the voice in my head starts to sound like that's super awkward. But funny story, I just finished reading Lore Olympus, and maybe I should think about why I have such a bad problem with it.
So you start talking like...
Oh, you're gonna have to cut that out. We can have, so you start talking like, and then put black on your mouth, but that's, burn, sick burn. It's just that stupid twee way of talking when the person writing the story is a stupid idiot and they don't know what to say, but they want to sound cutesy.
it's the language of somebody who's terminally online.
Yeah.
Female edition.
Yeah, female edition, terminally online. I mean,
male edition would be all the gamer words.
Yeah, it's, jeez, it's like so difficult because it's like hard to have like an authentic reaction to Lore Olympus and then to try to modulate that reaction in real time.
Oh yeah, no, cause, and this is where I'm like interested in like the commentary down below, because these videos, like especially this video, is gonna be so heavily edited, so curated for your conspicuous consumption. Yeah. It's gonna be like taking out the cake from the cupcake and stuffing it full of cream, you know, marshmallow cream, delicious, light, frothy, full of air, you know?
Yeah, and the cake before was like a spicy chocolate cake.
The cake before was like a spicy, rich, dark chocolate cake with coffee in it. Yeah. And not everyone likes such richness and depth and complexity of flavor.
Oh yes! Let us smell our own farts some more. Yes, yes.
So we're gonna go in and replace it with the much more commercially pleasing and cheaper to produce cream. So, okay, that being said, yeah, this batch of 5 was awful. It was way worse than last week.
Yeah.
Because nothing happened again.
Fell off a cliff, man.
But it was horrible. Yeah. The execution was even worse. The dialogue was smug and gaslighty. And we read through the full 10 episodes, so we could tell you whether or not our predictions came true.
Okay, so just as like a recap, we might, you know, into this video put the exact verbatim bit from last time, but I remembered.
You remembered? I don't need to pull it up?
No, you don't, because my 3 predictions were Persephone and Demeter would be reunited. Didn't happen.
No.
Second one, another person's going to have a dream about Kronos. Didn't happen.
No.
Third one, Zeus is going to get his finger out and get a jump on the trial. Didn't happen.
Oh god, that was your 3rd prediction?
That was my 3rd prediction.
Oh, dude.
No!
You sweet summer child!
Find me in the future!
What the F?
Right? And then your 3 predictions were, first of all, Persephone's going to go to therapy, and then you're going to conflate the
act of wrath and Apollo and her loss of powers further. So the first part's true. The second part shockingly didn't happen, because I never could have predicted that she would gloss over the act of wrath as if it didn't happen and gloss over the planting as if it didn't just happen. Yeah. They didn't even come up in the therapy session at all.
No.
And the therapy session covers 3 chapters. She covers all of the sad parts of Persephone's backstory, but nothing that recently happened in her life that caused her to go to therapy.
No.
Just like, my mom expects too much of me. They want me to be a virgin, but I'm a horny beast and a femcel. Yeah. And I got sexually assaulted, I think.
Yeah. And so that was your first prediction, was the therapy.
Which is half right.
Yeah, half right. Second prediction was that there was going to be a Kronos flashback, but it wasn't going to move the story along.
There's going to be a flashback to the Kronos times to develop what happened a little bit more, but nothing would come of it, and nothing would impact the story. That's true.
That is true. That happens in the last 5 episodes.
Yeah, that's Hades going like, let me tell you about my trauma again.
Yeah, he talks for a way longer time. I sat down and I actually counted the sentences and the panels of him talking versus Persephone talking during her therapy session. First of all,
I could do a word count because I did that for the last video.
Yeah, you know, Persephone, when she's talking about her therapy, this never happens to Hades, but cutting away from him to talk about somebody else. Yeah. We cut away from Persephone to talk about Hera. And then we go back to her for the 3rd episode.
No, we cut away from her to talk about Hera and then Zeus and Apollo.
Yeah. Like the entire rest of the chapter, the majority of the chapter is Hera, Zeus, and Apollo. And the minority of the chapter is Persephone talking about, you know, sexual attraction, right? Alright, so the one that you said that didn't actually happen was Athena and Hestia and their whole backstory. It's probably never gonna happen.
No, I should have known better because they're gay.
Yeah.
And Rachel doesn't care about that.
No.
Doesn't want to write about icky gays getting together.
No, I mean, she doesn't
She wouldn't be able to write it without making Athena a man.
Yeah, it would be like really like stereotypical and weird.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wait a second, like, this is just like full of stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
Like it's everything else that she writes, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, but your other 2 predictions are right on the money. We had the therapy session.
No, because the therapy session, she didn't bring up the loss of powers, the act of wrath, or the planting at all. When I said they're probably going to use the instead of the existential nihilism causing the loss of powers, it's going to be the assault causing the loss of powers. But the assault the act of wrath, and the planning. So the act of wrath and planning were never mentioned, and then the assault is an afterthought. The number one focus of the therapy session is feeling inadequate and like she doesn't live up to other people's expectations. And that is being juxtaposed with the forefront thing on her mind is the Hera and Hades bombshell. Yeah. Which is so stupid.
Like, the whole reason Hecate gives her the card is because she lost control, quote unquote, and turned Minthi into a plant. Yeah. But the whole reason she goes to therapy is because she's upset that Hera and Hades had history.
Basically turning somebody into a plant and potentially killing them was not enough of a reason for her to go to therapy. Her feeling inadequate next to Hera, because it hurts her feelings, gotta go to therapy.
No, I mean...
She's such a self-centered prick, dude.
If you had Minthi reveal at the office that Hades and Hera were having an affair, and that's what made Persephone angry, and she took it out on Minthi, instead of, like, confronting Hades about it, then it would make sense for her to go to therapy for that reason.
Dude, if Minthi was trying to fill Persephone's head with, like, all the bad stuff that Hades did to her, and, like, you don't want to be in a relationship with him, this is what he did to me, he cheated on me the whole time with Hera, and then Persephone started crying, you know, why are you doing this to me, blah, 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 like, she's actually getting upset, and then Minthi's like, hey, and then Persephone's like, don't touch me, and then she turns into a plant. Yeah. That would have been...
way better.
Way better.
And then she could have gone to therapy and talked about feeling inadequate.
And that she can't control her feelings. Yeah. She feels overwhelmed easily, can't control her feelings.
Yeah, and then she's like, I don't even know. Like, I know he has history with Minthi, but knowing that he was with Hera, like, there's no way I can compete with that. Like, I already felt bad about Minthi showing up to his office in her underwear, and the fact that she's so tall and thin and beautiful, but knowing that he was literally with the queen of the gods, like, that makes me feel even worse.
And the other thing is, like, I feel like this relationship is doomed from the start, but considering how much I had to throw away to be with him, I don't even know if it's worth it.
Exactly.
You know, like, that would have been, like, it's so easy to crystallize into, like, a relatable statement. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know why she didn't do that.
But that's how you can tell she's just making it up as she goes along, because anybody looking at these pieces in, like, apart from each other can think, oh, easy, you just put this piece here, you put that piece there.
She's like Hermes doing the puzzle.
Exactly. Like, it's ridiculous that you have all these things in your story, but you have no idea how they fit together because you're just making it up as you go along. Like, that's what's going on here. And so, now that we have that done, I guess we're gonna have to wait till we finish the next batch of 5 to make the predictions for what happens in the next 10 episodes. I mean, honestly, probably not even gonna turn out to be true, because nobody could have predicted Leto coming out of nowhere and talking about Apollo and dropping, dropping the truth bomb about Hera. Like, that's so stupid. She should have found out about Hades and Hera some other way, not Leto.
I could never have predicted her family suddenly showing up because they couldn't put the books together.
And she doesn't even correct the books on screen. So it's like,
not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so bizarre. The turn of events in the story. Like,
everyone's gathering the materials.
If somebody like was following along with us right now and they came up with one like perfect predictions without having read the story, I would ask them, dude, give me a number for the Powerball. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Because you have a gift, right? Like, you're like some kind of freaking genius.
It's a random walk. It's like you can, like, the story is basically a bunch of popsicle sticks with ideas written down on it, thrown into the air.
Yeah. And then, like, they're all thrown into the air, and then she picks from another thing of popsicle sticks that's over here that weren't even thrown into the air. And that's how she decides what happens next in the story. And it's so confusing. I just don't get, like, why anybody would write a story like this. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps it for episode 12 of the Lore Olympus analysis series, where we do another 5 episodes. And it takes us 4 hours to talk about 5 episodes. But to be fair, we were talking about the art a lot in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll see you guys in episode 13. Unlucky 13. Same couch, same hosts, different discussions, different outfits.
It's the same discussion now.
Same Lore Olympus.
It's the same discussion going, like, what the F is going on, why?
I mean, it feels repetitive, right? Like, tell us in the comments below if you feel like these videos are getting repetitive, or if you actually do learn something every time you listen to these, like, feature film length inane ramblings. Because it's like, dude, after a certain point, it's like, how much more can you say, right? Like, right? I mean, we were saying that in episode 10, and here we are, episode 12, saying, right? Like, you think so? Alright, so, yeah, tell us what you guys think. Like, we were really good about 10 episodes in episode 11, and then when we got here, we're like, yeah, we're gonna do 10 episodes again, and then we just went, right? Like, deflated, right? So we might take a bit of a break and do like Let's Play or something, right?
Yeah.
Just finish Let's Play, get it all out of the way in one big overview video and try out that format.
Because Let's Play is like funny. It's not enraging.
Yeah, it doesn't make you like bash your head against feel like you just bashed your head against the wall and you're like, what are you doing?
Shreds.
Yeah, and you've just been talking and you've got to modulate your tone because it's a sensitive subject and there's stuff in there that people are very sensitive about and it's like toxic. There's nothing like that in Let's Play, for the most part, right? I mean, pretty much everybody...
Oh, you forgot. The child bark. In Let's Play. What? I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank God! I thought we were talking about Lore Olympus again. I thought we were gonna have another Lore Olympus situation on our hands.
No,
Manji jumps the shark and does something like, what? For cheap drama.
No, I think pretty much every single POC character, like, gets put on the back burner.
Yeah.
When Charm takes center stage, including Marshall. He just disappears from his own comic.
Interesting. So, yeah, we're planning on, like, binging 100 episodes. So from going from 15 to 115, or 135, because we read up to 35, and then just covering it in broad strokes and talking about it, because there's not enough there panel to panel to talk about it in egregious, like, obsessive detail, like we are with Lore Olympus, and suffering for it. So, to give ourselves a break for that, we're going to do that. But yeah, so we will see you guys next time. Same couch, same hosts, different outfits. Different discussion. Same discussion. I'm sorry. Same Lore Olympus, unfortunately. Like, oh my god. Please. The editing for this one's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, I know.